medical study on the effects of marijuana use confirms that everyone knows you're high and that you'll most likely never stop feeling like this.
Your parents know you're high. Your friends know you're high. Strangers on the street know you're high.
Welcome to Everyone Knows You're High. Hosted by Uncle Kalei.
You're gonna never come back, you know, all that stupid shit.
And Uncle Erik.
If I could retreat away.
Yeah, you should definitely try that.
This is forever. This is the new reality.
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Everyone Knows You're High. To my right is the Grow Guru, a.k.a. Kalei, and I am Gary Bondo, a.k.a. Erik. And this week our guests are Dee and Alan of Pakamai Society.
Cheap on
Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you.
Be back, gentlemen.
Good to see you guys again.
3 years later.
Yeah, but like we were saying, quite the level up, man.
Yeah, thank
Quite
you,
the
man.
level up, bro.
Well, yeah, this is a different podcast. This is a lot more professional than the last time you guys came over to my house in my air quote studio.
Right.
It was AC though.
It is AC, that's
Yeah, but
true.
you know what? The last
That was
studio had a built-in babysitter, so that really helped
daycare
out.
included.
Daycare included, bro.
Right on. What you got over there, Kalei? What are you starting off
Some dirt
with?
nap. There you go, my
All
friend.
right.
So let's recap what Pakamai Society is all about for the people who didn't catch the first podcast.
I guess you want to take this one, or you? I got it. So
He's like, you motherfucker.
yeah, I know, right? I mean, Pakamai is just kind of like an idea, a mindset. We were, what was it, 2016? Maybe about 2016. Me and Dwayne, we were hanging out in the parking lot, waiting for a doctor. I'm good, brother. Thank you. And we were just kind of brainstorming, seeing the industry coming into Hawaii. Really, like the doors were really just opening up. There was some legislation that was moving that we felt was like, oh, there's a lot of opportunity there. And we were just kind of looking for a way to not even so much carve out space in the industry, but just to try to be involved. At the time, I was driving trucks, so I knew at the time the laws were that you couldn't grow and sell on the same property. So I was like, naturally, they're going to need transportation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like maybe I can get in at one of these establishments and stuff. But then Dwayne had this Dwayne moment where he was like, nah, fuck that. Let's take it over, bro. We need to make our own thing, yo. You know what I mean? So we were sitting in the parking lot just brainstorming on ideas, and we were thinking about just registering the names, and then if somebody wanted to buy the names, just a little quick lick, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we came up with one name, and it was already taken, and then the second name was Pakamai.
What was the first name?
I think it was Pakaloha, but those are bikinis, right? There's like a bikini company out of Kailua, just coincidentally same name, but so Pakamai was the second name, and from there I just kind of told Dwayne, like, looking at the industry, there's gonna have to be like a dissolving of the stigma, right? For the industry to be successful, it has to be marketed in the right way, right? You know, like, and the local word in Hawaii for cannabis is obviously pakalolo, right? You know, the plant that translates roughly. A lot of people feel like they have a different, but generally the definition is like the plant that makes you stupid or crazy, you know what I mean? And I was like, dude, you're already facing so much of an uphill battle with just the colloquial term for cannabis in Hawaii, you know what I mean? So I was like, what if we went the opposite, just paka akamai, you know, like, and then from there I was like, that's a little choppy, might look weird on a t-shirt, so we just blended paka for familiarity, and then akamai obviously because it means smart or intelligent, you know, which is the direction you want to see the industry grow,
right?
But also just like once I came up with the name, like it really it highlighted something to me. Like most of the people growing up here that you know, I don't smoke now, just as a
We'll let everybody know.
yeah, like, you know, one of two of Pakamai's active smoker, and I'm not one of them. But that has to do with the job I have and other future endeavors. But anyway, the people that I would smoke with regularly on the east side, growing up over there, it was like it was such a boundary dissolving agent for people who had totally different lives. You know what I mean? Like for me and Dwayne, we grew up. We were more like, you know, hip hop underground heads, you know what I mean? But like regularly you could find yourself chilling with like a gothic dude or a skater or a surfer. And it was like, you know, off rip, you would think like, man, those guys probably wouldn't hang out, you know what I mean? But like I had really good friends that had really different interests in music, different philosophies on life, but it was cannabis that allowed us to come together and just speak on an equal playing field, you know what I mean? So I recognize that, like, dude, there's so many smart, hardworking people that just so happen to consume cannabis on a regular basis, you know what I mean? And I was like, Dwayne, we could, you know, a lot of companies market their cannabis product, and it's like there's a lot of like cartoonish stuff, you know what I mean? Like a lot of Scooby-Doo shit, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, dude, if we just kept the marketing and the logo real clean, something that anybody could wear anywhere. And if you don't know what it is, it just looks like a nice logo. Like, it's wow, what is that? You know,
what a play on words is perfect.
For sure.
It's a play on words with the intention to break a stigma.
Yeah. Like there was intention behind it. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, ultimately I wanted to approach our Pakamai thing from a responsible adult position, you know what I mean? Like I would say, like, I don't want Pakamai to be worn just by anybody. Like I don't want somebody fucking, like, dude, put it this way, like the two people who just got arrested in Waimanalo, right, because of the little girl. Like initially, you know, it's a shitty situation, right? And I see the video on Instagram and Facebook, and I noticed, I'm not gonna say the name, but the type of shirt he was wearing.
I did see that as well.
Yeah, and I initially I didn't even think I'd be thinking about that, but I was like, yo, I'd be so like hurt and like, pissed right now if he was rocking one of my shirts, you know, like. Right. So I'm very conscious about like
the demographic you appeal to.
Yeah, you know, like and also like everybody who's bought a shirt from us, like it's always been like in person, you know what I mean? Like we don't have like a huge operation. It's like dudes be like, oh, you guys got double X's, and then I'm like, well, we don't got none right now, but we can put in an order, you know what I mean? Then we'll get it to you, you know? Like, I wouldn't say it's a pep talk, but I definitely give him a reminder, you know what I mean? Like, hey, man, you rock this shirt out in the world. Just, you know, try to be your best self, dog. Like, try not to do no dumb shit while you're wearing it. Like, it's not like you owe me nothing, but I'm just saying, like, dude, if we want to see this industry succeed, because it has the potential to be a totally new, solid pillar for the Hawaiian economy, you know what I mean? Like, if we're serious about it, it can be something huge. Like I'm talking about new jobs, new infrastructure can come from this industry. And the demand has always been high. You know what I mean? Yeah. For 6,000 years, man's been on Earth, like it's been a high demand. You know what I mean? Like, so I just try to remind people, man, like, you know, the whole intent behind Pakamai is to try to encourage intelligent use. Yep. Be responsible about what you do. Like if you're the type of person who can't handle your responsibilities if you smoke, I'm not even saying don't smoke, bro. Just do the shit you gotta do first. Right. And then when you're done, smoke that shit.
Reward yourself after.
Yeah, for sure. You know, like, but definitely like pay your bills, be there for your kids, you know what I mean? Like be attentive, be aware. Don't steal, you know what I mean? Be present minded, you know, like I don't know if I just think more deeply about it, but like I feel like you know, I'm not smoking, but that doesn't mean that I don't still believe what I believe as far as cannabis, its position in society, the way it's been demonized, the way people get locked up for this shit. Even the fact that you can get financially penalized. Like, I mean, they've decreased the penalties down to like a fine for the most part. But even that is like a travesty, dog. Like, you gonna rob me for what? You're taking my money, dog.
You're robbing me.
Yeah, you're robbing me. You know, like, yeah. So with knowing that, like, you got to look at it like, I still consider myself to be a part of the cannabis community, even though I don't consume regularly. Like that's a choice. That's a smart choice I had to make for myself. You know what I mean? Like I was in a situation where it was like I got 3 kids. I can provide for them honestly and honorably with the path in life that I've taken. This nigga funny, right? But that's like I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Like it means something to me how I provide for my family.
Is there a plan in the future to return to smoking?
I mean,
Great job.
When
that's
circumstances
why that's when circumstances allow. But
Yeah.
that's why when you guys invited us back on the podcast, I mean, I look at it like that's just another opportunity for me to come and share my perspective.
Yeah.
And hopefully this perspective is just one more drop in the bucket towards convincing our local politicians. And I just saw that this past week there was like a federal decriminalization bill that got presented by a freshman Republican. You know what I mean? 2021's weird as hell, guys. You know what I
The
mean?
last person you would think.
But it was a legitimate bill. Like it had a totally different approach to structuring the cannabis market. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna take cannabis down the same path as like vape juice. You know what I mean? Where it's like, where you got to spend $6 million for one license through the FDA. You know what I mean? Like this bill was talking about making it go down the avenue of going through like the agricultural department, and then it would be regulated the same way alcohol is regulated, which makes the barrier to entry a lot easier for people who want to get in. You know what I mean? There was clauses in the bill that allowed for grandfathering in people who have state licenses to now upgrade to federal licenses and shit.
Right.
But it opened up the door. It was basically just like a Republican version of what the left side has been trying to do for a while. You know what I mean? And better late than never, for sure. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, I don't care who does it. I don't care who removes this burden off of the people's shoulders. What I'm saying is, from my position as a non-smoking member of the cannabis community, one half of Pakamai, this shit should end.
Well, yeah.
Period.
And what's crazy is, I mean, it's fucking completely accurate. How Pakamai is relevant through the time since 2016 to the present. And like what you're talking about, how, you know, the market's open. The market's open, but the rebuttal is what influencers are going to come this way.
And that's what I'm saying.
We got to keep in mind that, the market is going to be wide open. But we have to make sure our own get it first.
We got to keep in mind, influencers ain't shit without the people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like an influencer gets all of its influence from how many people they influence.
Right.
Now, if you're the gatekeeper to who's influencing your mind and your perception and your day-to-day, I mean, you know, you put that filter on. And all I'm saying is we should step our game up. We should step up what we're expecting from people who are going to represent us in a public space. That's all.
100%.
You know?
100%. You know, breaking the stigma is the first big leap that we have,
bro,
because the next generation.
But it's the most important part, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you can get through that hurdle, I mean, all of the places where cannabis has flourished already, like through music, through arts, agriculture, and shit like that. All of that is still available. You know what I mean? But it all depends on how we break through the stigma, right? How we break through that barrier.
And it's easy because cannabis has been like grandfathered in per se, because everyone knows it's fucking safe. For one, everyone has all this generational data
that reefer madness has fizzled out. The last 7 years has been just like, you know, someone who's taken that position like, oh no, I think cannabis is dangerous. Like, you're gonna get at least 3/4 of a room looking at you sideways like, where the fuck did this guy come from? You know what I mean? Like,
living in a bubble for the past 4 years.
What the fuck are you on? You know,
and half those people probably don't even smoke, but they just know already.
Exactly, bro. And it's so funny because a lot of times it's the people who are in charge of the policy who were never regular consumers, never had positive experiences with cannabis, never experienced what cannabis can bring to a conversation and to the table. You know what I mean?
And it goes beyond that. It goes to like, those are closed-minded individuals.
Indeed.
Well, I was going to say they probably also have seen the money that comes from keeping it illegal.
Yeah, bro. I mean, there's entire agencies that exist solely for cracking down on cannabis or any other like mind-altering substances. You know what I'm saying? The thing is this: when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you have a responsibility to be a responsible adult. You know what I mean? There should be nobody. I mean, at as a child growing up, adolescence, like you need guidance. You need guidance from adults. But I mean, at a certain point in your life, you have to make a decision for yourself. That like,
Right.
I'm either gonna wake up early in the morning and go to work or not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm either gonna go and get this money the right way or not. You know, like,
Am I gonna be a decent human being, or am I gonna be a fucking asshole?
Yeah, like all of that is decisions, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, which is why I can't really stand, assholes. It's like, dog, you're an asshole, and you're making a decision right now to be an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I just feel like there's so many good people in the cannabis community.
Yeah.
That have been wrongfully persecuted for way too long.
Yeah.
And it's like generational. Like,
Yeah.
today's kids, right? They're what, like third, fourth generation on this persecution? You know what I mean? Like, and then when you hear a little bit of the history of how the whole thing started with freaking Harry Anslinger, all of that shit just makes you even more sicker. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
really?
going away though.
Oh, I found out the guy's name too. God damn it, I just slipped out of my mind.
Yeah.
William Randolph Hearst.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
The newspaper guy.
Yeah, dog.
owned like a bunch of like cotton processing machines that
Yeah.
but like hemp
Yeah.
was like way better.
Yeah.
More efficient. He
Yeah.
put a smear campaign on.
Yeah.
him.
Well, his whole operation, he had the machines to process it into the newspaper paper that he was printing his papers on,
Right.
and then he was also selling his paper to
Right.
other papers. You know, like,
Right.
And if like once, I think, what did they call it? Was it the decorticator?
The decorticator.
Decorticator. When they invented the decorticator, which would allow the processing of hemp to be done way easier. You know, my man just saw this is
His money going,
potential competition coming in, and
Yeah.
I got to shut this shit down.
Yeah.
So my man makes up a whole new word, marijuana. All right, that shit ain't even Mexican, dog. Like, you know what I mean?
And
Like,
he's blaming how you act on the whole minority.
yeah, and it's so funny because it's like, dude, I want you all to focus on this devil weed, this devil tobacco over here, and what it does to your women, right? And his focus wasn't even on that portion. His focus was on a totally different market, being hemp. You know what I mean? Like,
Sleight of hand, you know.
sleight
what I
of
mean?
hand, bro. Like, look over here. We're gonna lock this shit down too. Don't you worry
Yep,
about that. You know what I
100%.
mean?
That's
Y'all
exactly
gonna
right.
buy these papers, nigga. Like, it's, I mean,
Crazy though.
yeah, and I mean, it's deception on such a deep level for so long. You know, it's good to see, like, in general conversation, like, even people who don't smoke, who
Yeah.
know the facts. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
it's great to see that. You know what I mean? I feel like it's right around the corner, but so did my uncle them back in the 70s. They thought it was right around the corner,
Right.
legalization.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're
But-
almost there, guys.
Almost
Almost.
And then everything would pop up like I don't think I'll ever see it in my lifetime.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure,
oh,
though.
shit,
For
dude.
sure.
Lo and behold, fucking 40 years later,
No.
it's here.
But there is like even opposition within the cannabis community
Sure,
for
bro.
legalization,
Sure.
right?
well,
With
it's,
the dispensaries and stuff
Right.
like
it's
that.
the rec market.
They
because-
want to
Yeah.
keep control over the.
Yeah.
Well,
And
not
I
only
just want to
that-
go on record right now and say legitimately, like, I don't know. I think I'm speaking for the two of us, right? Like,
Uh-oh.
I don't think
Uh-oh,
that.
D.
He's sitting up towards the mic.
Yeah, I don't think that the growing of cannabis should be tied to who can afford a license. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
like if you have
Mm.
like basically like Hawaii has its own community where we've had growers growing medication for patients.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact the dispensaries, they don't like that. Whatever new regulations is coming in, they're trying to get that shit cut the fuck out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because that drives everybody to their stream.
It
You
should
know
be
what
a
I mean?
free market. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, to me, I feel like the only appropriate way to regulate cannabis is like how you regulate potatoes, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
That's
I can
what
grow a potato in my backyard. I can make
Yeah.
French
grow this
fries
one.
when I'm
Nah,
ready.
grow this
You know, like that's
Makes
I don't know if Wayne feels that way too, but like I feel like Pakamai's official stance on that is like let the people grow for sure. Let the people who have been
You
been
can agree
taking
to
the
that?
risks,
Oh, yeah,
securing
yeah.
the plants on their property
Yeah.
so that they can get that medication to the patients. Like, fuck anybody who's saying they shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel.
And that's how we feel, and everyone knows you're high podcast.
100%.
How about you, Mike?
I don't
Yeah,
say it so
unanimous.
eloquently. I don't say it that good, but I agree.
It's a right. It's a right as human beings to be able to cultivate wherever the fuck you want to.
Yeah.
You like lettuce? grow lettuce.
Yeah, bro.
You like fucking beets? I don't like beets.
Nah,
If you
it's
don't
not
like
my
it,
thing.
fucking you grow it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And if you want to go to the farmer's market because you like the way they do
Yeah.
their shit, you
Yeah.
can do that if you want.
I've always
mean-
had this fantasy where like, all right, you got a farm, Dee's got a farm, Alan's got a farm, Eric's got a farm. We all voluntarily, maybe not voluntarily, we're required to submit tests, right?
Sure,
For
sure.
our products. All right, you pass. Let's go to the Lowe's Stadium as a swap meet.
Right.
Everybody's compliant. We're safe. It's a free market to the
Right.
consumer.
Right.
You got your card. Come on in, dude.
Yeah.
Here's your. It's a farmer's market.
I mean,
Get it.
ideally, that would be nice to see
Oh,
like
yeah.
that type of freedom happen.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like
That shit ain't happening.
ain't fucking happening, but
yeah.
a guy could dream. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
No,
I mean,
well,
I think it's a pretty universal rule
Yeah.
that it's ridiculous for the government to try to outlaw nature. You know what I mean? This is something that's grown on the surface of the earth
Yeah.
for as long as man has been on the
We
surface
can't-
of the earth.
We can't fuck it up.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like you have THC receptors,
Right.
right? That has over the years, over the millennia, right? Like your consumption has allowed you to take in the THC molecule. You know what I mean? Like, and that receptor is only fit for the THC molecule. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
It was meant to be.
Yeah, the fact that your body has adapted to be able to receive the blessing that is cannabis.
Right.
I mean, that alone should be like, yo, the government should be like, yo, you know what? Yeah, maybe we overstepped the bounds here. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe we
Right.
should let the people be free in this way. You know what I'm
We
saying?
can't cover up our bullshit that
Yeah,
way.
like,
All
dog,
right, you
this
got
shit,
us.
it's starting to stink. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
So you can only fucking bullshit us so long. After a while, it's like, you know what? Got me.
No.
Fuck, you guys can have it. But they'll never be that way because there's so much economic pool behind this
yeah,
fucking
bro.
thing.
Even when you look at the way that our cannabis industry has been like slow rolled out,
Mhm.
right? I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I mean, from the people that I've spoken to who have been like pretty close to some of the working groups out here, you know, it just seems like the people who are overseeing the releasing of this industry into Hawaii, it just seems like everyone's trying to see where they can fit in before they let this shit go. You know what I mean? Like,
That's big
and to
business,
me-
my friend.
To me, that's treacherous, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, this industry that's providing for patients, right, is being held up because you trying to find a way to get in. Like, you want to get in, bro? Free this shit and start growing some, bro. Outgrow the other growers. You know, make a superior product. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's what's good about the farmer market mentality.
Yeah.
Where you as a farmer, we're all different entities.
mhm.
Someone's gonna like something about us,
Yeah.
and it's their choice.
No.
So it's not no farmer gets
Whether
butthurt.
it's the technique you use to grow yours, the
Right.
the supplies you use, or the nutrients you put into your soil, like,
right.
you know, you'd be surprised how much people like, doc, like your store. You know what I mean? Like, I see all the products you got on your shelf, right? Like, that's there because people give a fuck. You know, people
Right.
care what's going into the food they're growing or the
Right.
plants they're growing. Like,
Right.
and I wouldn't say it's always been like that in my adult life. I don't think so. You know
Nope.
what I mean? Like, but I definitely seen like a tilting, right? A tilting or a shifting towards
Oh, yeah.
being more aware and more
Sustainable.
conscious. Yeah,
Boy,
yeah,
born for this,
legitimately,
yeah.
legitimately.
I see people like, especially during COVID, with the consulting.
yeah.
It fucking when we got locked down.
Podcast champ.
Oh, you know me, Wayne. I mean, you called me for a reason, nigga. No, I'm playing that. I just said.
Go off, nigga. You do your thing.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's
that's all good.
fucking truth, man. It's you ain't bullshitting
Yeah,
anybody.
man. I mean,
That's fucking from the heart. And if
Nah,
if people ain't talking, if people ain't thinking that way, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're gonna make your money, you're gonna do your thing,
Mhm.
but there's compassion attached to the
for
plan.
sure, dog. For
And
sure.
we got to teach our young ones that, you know, the next generation, you know, there's some fucking opportunities for you
Sure.
that's gonna pop up that wasn't there when I was fucking
Right,
I was
right.
coming up. So
I was talking to Wayne. What, just like last week, man. Like, even though like we're all just talking about the cannabis market and
Mhm.
like for the patients getting their medication and how important that shit is, right?
right.
And it is very important. Like, it's probably the most important. Like, that should be the biggest reason why we legalize it,
Yeah.
because this is truly helping people with whatever pains. Doc, put it this way: when we did our first cannabis expo, the people that we spoke to, I spoke to an undercover narcotics agent who, no, legitimately,
That's
like
fucking
he was
rad.
retired though. He was retired.
Oh,
he was
okay,
like
okay.
65, right?
You got to say
But
that first.
yeah, my bad. Yeah, we not hey,
Lead with that.
Yeah, legit. But anyway, no, but the dude was reading the little mission statement I put up in front of our tent and stuff like that, and then I was talking to him. But he was talking to me about he went his whole career, 20-some years, thinking that he was doing the right thing. Like he was thinking that he was enforcing the law. These people are lawbreakers. Didn't really get to know the people that he was locking up until roughly maybe about the last 3 years that he was working, which led into him deciding to, you know what, I'm just going to retire. I can't do this shit no more.
No
Because
shit.
he's realizing that, when they're doing busts and they know that it's going to be like a cannabis grow op or whatever, or people for plants, he knows that there's not going to be like a shootout. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like his shoulders are back walking into that property.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then after you do it for so many years, you start thinking like, yo, man, I just passed by like 3 little kids that were sleeping to come get this dude. And it's like, they love him. They're crying because I'm taking their dad out the house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I lost my train of thought. But what I'm saying is,
No, that shit, that power or force coming in for a plant,
yeah, bro.
will create damages that probably won't heal.
Legitimate trauma, dog.
Yeah.
Like if this man gets taken out of that house and he goes to jail just for, let's say 3 years,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
That's a long
That's 3
time.
years that the world is imposing itself on your child without you there to
Protect it.
clear up
Yeah.
the questions. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It's a lot of outside influence
Mm.
that can grab a hold of your child, and there's trauma attached to you not being there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like your
Right.
child might start questioning you, and your motives. Like,
And it's all
dude,
for a plant that you're trying to help
Yeah,
people with.
yeah.
So
You
a
know?
a lot of federal officers over time be like, "What the fuck did I do?"
Yeah, bro. But what I brought him up for was he was sharing with me his evolution on cannabis, and he was expressing a little bit of shame for what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't asking for that. I'm selling t-shirts, bro. I'm just trying to get my message off, you know what I'm saying? I just want people to be responsible with their use and shit. And he told me what he realized coming to this was his second cannabis convention, was that he was meeting people.
Who was that?
It was the cop, the undercover dude. He was like an older white dude.
What?
Yeah, like almost 60. But what he was telling me in those 2 years that he came to the cannabis convention was that he met
Motherfucker came by himself?
I assume.
Shit.
I mean, I didn't ask no questions, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
I didn't check his ID or.
What is he, a cop? No.
Yeah, I know, right? No, but what I took away from the conversation was he told me I met so many people who tried so many different pharmaceutical options to relieve their pain or subdue their afflictions. And he was like, dude, legitimately, I had to recognize that people were coming to cannabis to get their lives back.
And he
You know what I'm
was
saying?
snatching it away.
Yeah, like, well, in his later age, he was saying, I'm meeting the patients personally walking around this convention. And he was like, I've met like he was telling me about a group of old ladies, like 50-something, that he was just talking to out by the parking lot. And it was like, they all were card-carrying, 329 card carriers, you know what I mean? And they're sharing with him. And he's like, dude, it's crazy to me that people have tried every legal avenue. They have tried it, and it's not working for them. But then it's like they go maybe 4 months on a cannabis regimen or a CBD regimen even, and it's like, it's changed their lives. They can move around, play with the grandkids. You know what I mean? To me, that shit is beautiful when you can have the energy and the resilience to pour a little bit of love into the next generation. Because I mean, sickness, there's all types of sicknesses that can knock you on your ass. It removes you from the world depending on what it is. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can get lost in that seclusion. You know what I mean? Like, but to be able to step back out and play with your grandkids, to me, that's the biggest win.
huge.
That's
Quality
a huge
of life
win, bro.
which went up.
Legitimately. You know what I mean? And I can tell you, for someone who hasn't smoked for a minute, right? there is definitely a difference in quality of life. Like I went many years working jobs where it's like I'm getting paid like $14 an hour. You know what I mean? And obviously I want more. I'm doing what I can to try to improve. Give me that same job where I'm allowed to smoke. It ain't that bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I can put up with it. You know what I mean? Like and
the longevity of your career just increases.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. We're all fighting that same fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like trying to advocate for the same thing. You know, like
As time goes by, we know it's more bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit that they're feeding us when we were younger. So like I said, our kids coming up, more opportunity because they know there's no bullshit involved.
And to me, the opportunity is on. It's not even so much the cannabis for medication or recreational use. To me, what I think for Hawaii, like what would be the legitimate, hardcore, badass pillar of economic sustenance, would be hemp.
Right.
Like fucking industrial hemp, bro.
Yep.
Like if we could set up like a factory where it could be processed, you know what I mean? We could grow this shit all year round and actually export something. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about we need to stop, like reduce our reliance on tourism and shit like that. You know, like over 70% of the food we consume comes from outer island.
Yes.
Like all of that shit needs to be reversed. We need to be able to grow the food that we're going to put in our bodies right here. You know what I mean?
And
At
we can.
least half of it. You know what I mean? Like at least half, and then you could. This is what I was telling Wayne. So you could set up a program with the farmers who are here, right? And just work it out with them. Like, yo, if in between your harvests, when you harvest this crop, if you just throw hemp down and you let that grow, and then we'll harvest that from the state and we'll pull that to go put into our program to process the hemp. You know what I mean? Like, just work that out. When you plant that crop of hemp in between your original crops, it's sucking out all of the fucking shitty stuff in the soil.
Yep.
It replenishes the pH levels and shit. You know what I mean? So it's a win-win for everybody. And like for those crops, like for the ones that you're putting in between harvestable, edible food, like I would say that hemp you can designate for industrial hemp.
Yeah.
For building materials. Yeah. And you want to talk about the way it would affect housing prices in Hawaii? You know what I mean? The reason why it costs so much to build a house in Hawaii is because we have to ship in most of the fucking material.
Yes.
Now, if we could process the material right here in the islands, like, I'm not going to say it's going to be exorbitantly lower, but I mean, fuck, somebody got to do something.
Well,
a fucking,
over the scale, it will be.
Yeah.
You know
A
what I mean?
dilapidated shack in Hawaii right now is going for $1.4 million, guys.
man.
You know what I mean? Like the whole Hawaiians are being priced out of their home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I see it growing up on the east side. I live in Kailua now, but my family's from Waimanalo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so many of my mom's generation they're the ones who've inherited their parents' houses. But their kids are all going out to Vegas, Colorado, Washington, and it's not because they want to.
They have
it's
to.
because they're forced to.
Yeah, because it's
You know what I mean?
And guess what?
affordable there.
There's no fucking coming back.
Yeah, once you go out there, bro,
That's it.
most people don't ever move back home. When you see the prices for goods out there, the price of gas out there, you know what I mean? Electricity and shit. Just your rent or your
Some
mortgage.
states, no tax.
Bro, legitimately.
No income tax.
You know, like Hawaii's not doing its part to keep its what makes Hawaii beautiful
The locals.
is the people of Hawaii. And we're not investing into our policy to keep what makes us wonderful and beautiful here. You know what I mean? Like, that's totally separate from the I know we're not going to go like deep into politics.
But it is related though.
No, it is related
you
because
know.
cannabis can save our economy.
Yeah,
Right?
it can create something here that would provide jobs for the local community, right? That would allow us to keep our children here so that they can experience the Hawaii that we experienced growing up. You know what I mean? Maybe even better if we do it right. You know what I mean?
And it's to balance the economy, to add one more like leg to stand on,
Sure,
because
bro.
tourism might not be around
Yeah.
forever.
I mean, after this last year with the COVID lockdown,
Shit.
how many businesses went out of business that
Yes.
ain't coming back?
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
Loves.
Mom and pop. Loves. Nigga. Loves, bro.
Driving by, I was like, I don't smell it anymore.
That is
What the
wild,
fuck?
dog. That is so wild, bro.
Well, it got bought by a mainland company now or some shit, right?
Yeah,
They're
but
keeping the
it's
label, but
not the
fuck.
same.
Like the
It's not-
local growers here, you know, like the local business owners, small business owners who got locked out of doing business. but fucking Target was open, Costco's was open,
Right.
Walmart was open,
Right.
You know what I mean? These motherfuckers was all making money, and they made it to the government made it to where there was no competition for them anyway.
Ain't that some shit?
That's some
though?
wild shit. I'm not gonna go too crazy, but I'm just gonna say some niggas
wild
probably
shit.
should go to jail for some of this shit. You know what I mean? The way that they did the people here, like there needs
yeah.
to be a fucking reckoning. The people need to wake up and see, not even see, just ask yourself, what are you comfortable with your government doing to you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about y'all. Call me crazy. I'm probably gonna vote for BJ Penn for governor. You heard it here first, folks.
Oh.
BJ Penn for governor.
Who lead the system?
Who lead the system?
I really hate to go against Hawaii people, but I don't know. You cannot just put someone else into government. And
I hear that.
You really need to huli the system, and
Legitimately.
And what he's talking about doing, and like just doing one term and bouncing. The next person that comes is just gonna fucking
It's
fuck
just
shit up, and
a
that's
temporary
you can
fix.
really fuck it up. And I don't know if the governor is in a position to really.
Who lead
Well,
the system?
the governor
shit up.
the governor has a lot of power,
Right.
in terms of local state government. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we pay a lot of attention to national politics, national decisions and shit. Like, but really, the power is more closer to us than we think it is. Like if we were to invest more time in understanding how our local government works and what kind of power we have over it, and we exerted a little bit of that, like last year would have been totally different. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, a lot of this stuff happens under an emergency proclamation, right? But that emergency proclamation has a deadline. And they go right through that deadline, and everybody's just like, well, I mean, I don't know. They said,
I thought it was over.
yeah,
Yeah,
they said it's still going. So, but nah, it's not still going. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's over.
Yeah.
If you guys don't come up with a reason to extend it, that's a wrap, folks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Back
you
to
know what
normal
I mean?
life.
Like, yeah, but like, I'm of the opinion, like, I think we should even question the power to issue one of them motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can't just suspend the core edicts of a country. You know, like, first of all, I got a little opinion about Hawaii being a part of America anyway. But I mean, if we gonna be a part of America, motherfucker, I want the benefits, nigga. You know what I mean? And that's freedom and fucking liberty, bro.
Constitution applies
That's
to
checks
us.
and balances, bro. You know what I
Checks
mean?
and
Like,
motherfucking
y'all
balances.
forced us into this shit. Well, we here now. You know what I mean? Like, and you said, you know what I mean? Like
Says
that's all I
here.
said. Y'all niggas said that it was gonna be like this, dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this past year didn't look nothing like that.
Fuck
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Nope.
But-
Not at all.
you know.
But it's, yeah, you're absolutely
Fuck
right.
yeah.
But I mean, like, so he gets in and he does what he can for the time he's in,
Sure.
and the next guy comes in, and I feel like he'll just go back to how
Yeah.
it was.
It's a
Because
perpetual
what'll happen
cat-and-mouse
is
game.
the federal government will start withholding shit that was promised, and everybody else will be
Right.
pissed at him.
Right. But
And then
see-
everybody's gonna hate BJ Penn.
That comes back to the conversation of being responsible adults, right? We should be more responsible over our government. We should be more involved. We should be more attentive. We should be paying attention. You know what I'm saying?
Paying attention.
Yeah.
And
Like, because what you're saying is, if, like, say BJ Penn does come in and he does huli the system and shit's good for 4 years. Now, what's that saying that they say, right? Hard times. No, listen. Hard
No,
times
yeah.
make hard men.
Yeah.
Hard men make good times, and good times make soft men. Soft men make hard times.
Yeah.
It's like, follow me, Wayne. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you follow that. But follow me, bro. Like, if we're presented with 4 good years under BJ Penn,
Right.
the chances are the people will come complacent, right? We're
Right.
just gonna feel like, oh shit, everything's good. You know, we don't really gotta pay attention too much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? BJ did his thing, choked out some niggas, and now we good. You know what I mean? But it's like what you're saying. You know, like, if we're not paying attention, any jackass can get in there and
Yep.
fucking take
The
us
other
right back
choices
down.
Too, though, you know what I mean? Like, so far, that Vicky Cayetano,
Bring it a little
Yeah.
closer to your
Get closer to the mic. Yeah.
Vicky Cayetano, she's gonna be running for governor.
Is
You know what
Andrea
I mean?
Topola running for governor again?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I really liked her.
But-
I did like her.
But anyways, we ain't here for all that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Anyway, the vision of
Keep it
Pakamai.
going. Keep it going.
Intelligent
man.
cannabis
Keep it going,
use.
man.
You know what I mean?
I like it though. That ramble. I mean, we try not to keep it too political,
Sure,
but that
I
was
know you told me, and I'm
no.
sorry. I apologize.
That's fucking. That was actually super cool because it was like it was relevant to where you're getting at with the whole cannabis being an economic fucking relief for everybody, and it slowly transitioned to how we're essentially getting fucked by our authorities, and it's our responsibility to grab it by the balls and fucking wrangle this bitch in.
Even if it just means we're paying attention more. You know what I mean? Like you look at the situation with cannabis, right? We got there through lack of information, lack of understanding, and
propaganda.
Fear. Right?
Yeah.
You know, it was like, at the time, it was a bunch of white dudes running the country, and it was like, yo, look, man, your wives will be fucking black guys and Mexicans if we don't get rid of this plant. Legitimately. They was like, yo, you ain't fucking no black guys in my house.
Illegal.
You ain't fucking no Mexicans in my house. You know, like
Listening to jazz music?
legitimate, like you crazy. You know what I mean? But that's how policies that affect us negatively happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's from
totally.
lack of attention and fear. They pump fear, bro. You know, like we gotta find a balance to where we can receive information, and then speak with each other and see what everybody thinks about this information. You know what I mean? And then from there we can be like, yo, look, we all just talk. And we all think that that's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times we take information in through like social media
and believe it,
100 and believe it legitimately. 10%. You know, like
be practical with your thoughts too. Don't jump to conclusions like
legitimately. Niggas just want to get a comment in. You know what I mean? Niggas just want to put something into. You know what I mean? Like, but
what would happen if all social media just?
I did that one time. I commented something on like a political thing. And I was like, fuck, I regretted that shit instantly.
Getting
like,
alerts the whole night, nigga. You know, like,
I really didn't mean for that to happen. Shit.
I'll tell you what would happen if social media went away initially. Like right away, if social media, like tomorrow,
just stop. Wake
up, social media gone, right? You're going to have a large portion of this younger generation fall into a deep depression.
Oh, fuck.
Legitimately.
Because I agree 110%.
Because so many of them are they're running to their devices and running to their the character they've created for themselves online. Like none of you niggas are this cool. You know what I mean? Like none of y'all niggas is really this cool in real life. But I get it. It's your little avatar. You know, it's where you go for the affirmation and the adulation and the compliments. A lot of people go there for that. You know what I mean? Like, but in person, in real life, they might be like recluses. They might be shut out. They don't really speak too much.
Right.
But they make some badass artistic photos.
Guaranteed.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they get that affirmation through that.
The narcissism that came out of that shit is fucking unreal. Like exposing the narcissist in the people. Like holy fuck, dude. Like some people like from high school, I'll scroll through them like, oh.
But not even, I mean, yes, they were talking about like selfie people and influencers, but even like artists who post their pictures, and that's the only place they have to show the art they have, and now
like,
that's gone.
You don't even know. You don't even know. Yeah, that is true too. If it was gone tomorrow, right?
Yeah, like there's a lot of people who'd be depressed.
Yeah, like if that's your only avenue to get your art off, you know, like you're giving up a lot of sovereignty, bro. You're giving up a lot of power. You better hope your art is in line with whoever the fuck shuts accounts off. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? Like your ability to make money is now tied to this larger corporation who at any time could just be like, we don't like that. Sorry, brother. You're broke next month. You know what I mean? Like, but I see a lot of movements towards like independence as far as like online media is concerned, online art. You know what I mean? Like ways to communicate with people are looking for different avenues to get these informations off, the information that they have or whatever they're offering to the world off. Right. You know, like I remember when Twitter started, bro. Like when Twitter started back in like 2009. You know what I mean? We were at Turtle Bay, matter of fact, nigga. We were staying at Turtle Bay, and I was watching the news, and it was big news on CNN. Ashton Kutcher hits 1 million followers. First person to hit 1 million followers, right? And my wife was like, what the fuck is a Twitter? And I was like, yo, babe, you don't get it, okay? Like, Twitter is like where you can just speak to the world. It's going to revolutionize everything. I remember feeling that way about it. But then now looking at it 10 years, 11 years later, I'm looking at like, yo, this shit is like it's a cesspool. of just fucking mouth farts. You know what I mean? Like just shitty people giving out shitty comments. Perfect. You know what I mean? From what it was proposed to be, the potential that it had.
Hey, if our account gets fucking. It's because this motherfucker right here.
Yeah, but we're working on revamping the website, pakamai.com. We'll let y'all know when it's up.
I'm just saying though, if our shit disappears, it's because Zuck heard talking all this shit.
Well, first of all, fuck Zuckerberg, dog.
He's listening over there on Kauai.
Dog. Fuck Zuckerberg. Yeah, fuck him for taking that land and kicking those people off and ripping them deeds out of them families' hands. Fuck Zuckerberg, dog.
On Kauai, yeah.
No, legit, dog. Yeah. Real scumbag. And now he's going with the metaverse.
The metaverse.
It's some money in them NFTs, though, for sure. Like, everybody's talking about NFTs, man.
What the fuck are NFTs?
I don't understand it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it, bro.
I've watched like 7 YouTube videos, and I still don't get it.
I'm like, so horrible. What? They're putting pictures in a blockchain. What the fuck does that mean, bro? Like,
what is it?
But you could become a millionaire,
bro. Legit,
because you own a picture of a zombie monkey.
Dog. There was I saw a meme.
I'm just as confused as you look right now, dude.
I saw a meme of some little girl standing in front of a burning house, and she's like looking back at the camera at her dad who took the picture.
Yeah.
That shit sold for fucking $65,000, and I'm like, why?
It's everywhere already, right?
Wait,
no, but
exactly. Your face says
own that art. You know what I mean, specifically.
But how do you
like that?
Kaleo does that all the time, and he's pretty clued up with it. He was trying to explain to me, but it was like Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
I don't know the fuck. I'm sorry. You're so smart.
Whatever the okay boomer is for our age group, like I'll take it right now. I don't get it, nigga. Like,
wow.
But people are getting rich off of them.
Legitimately.
But it seems like you can just create new ones like at will. Like if you're an artist who draws cool shit.
It don't even gotta be cool shit though. That's what's crazy.
It's like a Minecraft fucking picture. I was like,
yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like they're limited. You know what I mean? So there's only a limited amount.
I don't understand that because I can screenshot it and post it wherever the fuck I want.
Right.
How did they get paid? They don't.
What is that? Fucking
whoa.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, like that kind of
cryptocurrency.
Some shit like that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's crazy shit.
I mean, I'm trying to learn though.
Yeah.
That's a good little move. You know what I mean? Like,
is it really?
I guess.
I guess until everybody figures out that it's bullshit. Like, I guess it's a good move.
What if you disperse all your money to crypto and crypto just goes?
So the internet disappears, right?
The move is to buy land in the metaverse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
You gotta buy real estate in that metaverse shit.
This
is free game. You know what I mean? For all you motherfuckers out there.
That's like opening a clothing store in GTA. That's how I'm seeing this shit.
Right.
That's like GTA.
I sell T-shirts in the video game world. You know, like
no, that's for real.
It's like
though.
I'm the biggest fucking arms dealer in the fucking city of Los Santos. Bro. Like, come on.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Somewhere
but now you can be a giraffe.
Yeah, somewhere somebody's watching this and they're like, these fucking idiots don't understand anything. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm
like,
sorry.
Right.
It's so easy. You know,
they're absolutely right.
Yeah, you're totally right. I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. I'm not a professional at any of that.
I don't give a fuck about it right now. I mean, like, I will.
Don't timestamp that shit.
Yeah, legit.
Like, fuck, I missed out on millions.
Ruin my day.
Shit, I remember hearing about Bitcoin back in 2008 when it was like $20.
No, it was like in 2010.
No, it was like 2008.
No, that was whatever.
Oh no, wait.
Yeah, it was about 2010 shit.
Damn, man.
Oh yeah.
This is fucking wild.
Got him when it was at the fucking floor
I don't know if
level.
I even want to. Like, I mean, where do you actually get tangible? Like, you get cashed out.
So that raises a very interesting question, right?
Okay.
Which is also what we should be looking at as like citizens of the world.
Isn't that like
paying attention to how?
Because Bitcoin doesn't like necessarily. It's not backed by a U.S. dollar. Correct?
Yeah, but a lot of places are taking it nowadays.
No.
Buy shit with Bitcoin nowadays too.
But what if they could change the worth of a Bitcoin
they
from
do though, don't they?
Like,
well, it's based off of demand, right?
So it's
based off of how many people are holding
Bitcoin. I'm like, all right,
to buy and sell. You know what I mean?
But no, you look at
Bitcoin.
the history of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look at the U.S. dollar, right? Since 1913, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Since we've instituted a central bank, the Federal Reserve, we've lost 97% of our purchasing power.
Gotcha.
Right? Where does any of this shit get any value? Right? It only gets value if we believe in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, at one point in history, fucking seashells was currency. You know what I mean? Like, it's whatever the people are willing to accept for trade. You know what I
It's not
mean?
wrong.
Like, it's whatever we're willing to exchange between ourselves.
Essentially, it's just a bartering system off of credit.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, you look at the longest standing definition of money is gold and silver.
Right.
Right. It's because there's a finite amount of it in the world. You can't just make more of it. Right. And it has intrinsic value. Like, it has like, there's properties to gold and silver that you can't find in any other mineral.
Right.
You know
It's
what I mean?
unique.
It's unique. It
Right.
has its own little timestamp. But that's what Bitcoin is supposed to be with the blockchain. It's a unique version of a cryptocurrency, right? It's secure. It supposedly can't be hacked. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And it's decentralized, right? So there's no central bank controlling it. There's a reason why all of the central banks in the world, the International Monetary Fund, they all want to do away with the current available cryptocurrencies. But simultaneously, while they're out speaking against it in public,
They're making some
they're
shit
trying to
inside.
set up their own cryptocurrencies
Right.
that you have to go through them for. You know what I mean? Because that, like, dog, whoever controls the flow of money controls the flow of a fucking country. You control the fate of a nation
Right.
if you can control the currency. You know what I mean?
Fuck, dude. That's heavy.
Yeah, but I mean, but it comes back down to the fundamental question, like, where does money get its value?
Right.
From us.
Right.
Like, if we believe it's worth something, then it's worth something.
It's crazy how man created a fucking value system off of cotton fucking little paper rectangle.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was,
well, no, it was like the way that they got us to do it was wild.
Yeah, it's so deep to where we're in a wormhole right now, just trying to figure out the worth of our service.
Sure.
Fucking crazy.
Like, I mean, you know, the U.S. dollar was supposed to be backed by a certain
Gold.
amount of gold and silver, right?
A finite source.
A
that would
finite
give it a
source.
unique property.
Yeah, it would give it
Yes.
its unique property and its unique value.
But they're just bullshitting
Yeah,
dollars right
but
now.
so-
They just print more money
ever
now.
since Nixon, right? They decoupled the dollar from gold, and now you just have a system where it's like, when we need money, we can print it.
Yeah.
But the value of the dollar is still only so much. So every time they print money, it's like a hidden tax, or like it's like you get $1,000 and you feel like, you know, in the interest of protecting my money, I'm not gonna keep this shit under my mattress. I'm gonna go put it away in a savings account. I'm gonna go put it away in a checking account.
They charge you for that.
They'll fucking charge. The bank's charging you for that, for the security service, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when the government decides that, hey, we're gonna print another $1.5 trillion, what they're doing to every individual citizen is reaching into that secure area
And taxing the shit
and
out of it.
removing, like, the amount of dollars is still there, but they're
value.
removing the value of that amount
Right.
of dollars, and they're reducing it every time they're printing money, you know. But they can only do that because they've decoupled it from the intrinsic value, which was
Right.
gold or silver. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the money financial world it's all smoke and mirrors, bro. Like, we talk about Bernie Madoff, like, oh, he was the king of Ponzi schemes. This nigga was a small fish in a big pond, bro. Like, there's way bigger, better, badder motherfuckers out there doing this money shit.
They're
Have you
called
ever-
countries.
Legitimate, dog.
Have you ever heard your
Legitimate.
dad talk about this kind of stuff growing up as a kid?
My dad?
Yeah.
No.
Have you, Mike? Have your dad?
No, not at all, bro.
So that's unanimous. Your dad? That's unanimous, right?
Yeah.
None of our families
She's
grew
not
up
listening.
talking about this shit.
yeah.
However, we are talking about it
Right.
now, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it's like when the kids are growing up, they're
Yeah.
more clued into the bullshit that's happening. So it's like a funnel where there's going to be some intersecting
Yeah.
point where there's going to be a transition to be made.
yeah.
You know, so
No, but like on
coming.
that same like train of thought, like your impression on your child is important.
Mhm.
It means a lot. Like, there's so much value in that impression, right? Like, if you look at two totally different families, from two different economic statuses, you have a rich family and you have like a poorer family. You know, the shit they talk about at their dinner table will determine which paths their children will take. Like, the topics on a rich, wealthy family's dinner table might be like finance,
Right.
It might be about developing good business practice, you know what I'm saying? Versus like and it's like a lower income household, you know, hey man, you see the game yesterday? You know what I mean? Like, yo, so-and-so scored 40 points. He really ran it up, you know what I mean? So-and-so got them new shoes the other day. You see that shit? Oh, just picked up a new chain or whatever, you know? Like the conversations they're having over there, they can have over here. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's based off of conditioning and environment. You know what I mean? Like in that world, this is more of a it's a readily available conversation to have amongst this group of people. You know what I mean? Like we need to change on our side, because I mean I'm definitely on this side. I'm not on the wealthy side. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm conscious on what I share with my son, what I try to instill into my son, because I want him to be aware of more than just fucking YouTube cartoons or what his friends are talking about at school. You know what I mean? Like my dad I didn't talk shop with my dad. Like my dad, I love my dad. My dad was there, present, gave me everything I ever needed when I needed it.
Right.
Didn't always get what I wanted when I wanted it, you know, but I always had what I needed. You know what I mean? And I had legit. I had an example. I had an example of like my example of what my dad was is this dude wakes up every morning. Before I get up, he's in his uniform getting ready to go to work.
Right.
And now I have an image of what a man is supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
This dude he gets up early, goes to work, he comes home, he's good to my mom, he's fair to me and my sister, he's gonna discipline us if we fuck up, but he's not just coming home to fuck me up, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
So with that, like, I got 3 kids too. Like I feel like you should always strive to be at least as good as your parents were.
Yep.
And if you can, where you can, try to do better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like over time, you learn things that they might not have learned in their generation that you could try to see how you could work that into how you raise your child. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not like a fucking, hey man, hey, let's go study the Pythagorean theorem together. Like not at all. You know what I mean? Like, but definitely like, dude, you should think about, I don't know, like, what's the coolest shit you thought about today? Like, I'm going to ask him that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just to hear what the fuck he talking about.
Right.
And then, you can have some amazing conversations with kids.
Hell yeah.
If you just give them time. Like, for majority of kids, they're just looking around for somebody to talk to them. Like, yo, Nick, talk to me, bro. Hey, man. Hey, you know, like, they got that energy, you know what I mean? For real. Well, that's how my kids are, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I might not be rich or wealthy when it comes to like money, you know what I mean? But I'm rich and wealthy in the fact that I can come home every day with nothing in my hand, and my kids run to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
They run to me to hug me and say, "Hey, Dad," you know what I mean? Like I kiss them on the head, you know what I mean? Like, "Hey, man, how was your day?" Right. That shit makes me feel good. It made that whole day that I was gone worth it. You know what I mean? To come home to that. That shit means something to me.
Hell
you know?
yeah, 100%. That's what
for real.
As dads,
Wayne feels that way too. But the thing is, he's a thug, right? Like he too. I be telling him like, dog, you so hard. You too hard, man. Like you always hard.
I love my kids. You know
I know you do. He got 2 little girls and he a bitch, nigga. Like they be running this nigga. Like
you got your guy.
You're talking to all fathers here.
Legit, man.
What? No, that's what's up. That's
good
fucking
parenting
true
advice for all the people at home being aspiring parents.
Bro. It's time, man.
Don't bullshit your kids.
Don't bullshit them.
Give them time to talk, you know, and find out what they're about.
Yeah, because they'll tell you everything they're thinking about if you just let them talk. Like they'll tell on themselves. Man, my son tell on himself all the time, dog. Like, but because like I tell him, I'll be like, look, if you honest with me, like you're not gonna get it bad. Like the worst, I'm gonna be disappointed with you, and I'm gonna have to do some kind of thing to correct that action or whatever.
Right.
But if I find out you lied, you actively worked to deceive me, brother. After all the work I put into making you survive and provide for you and nurture you, like I'm gonna take that shit personal, bro.
Right.
I'm taking it personal, and it's gonna be way worse for you if you lie to me. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
funny because I lied to my parents all
so
the
did
time.
So did I.
I say the same shit to my oldest son. Like, you don't have to lie. Just tell me the truth.
Like, I'm not grandpa and grandma, okay? I'm not gonna get mad if you tell me the truth. You know, like I was telling my son, yo, in defense of your brother or your sister, if you have to punch somebody or you get into a fight at school, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all good. In that situation, it's all good. Like
my mind.
No, for real. In that situation, I told my son.
What the fuck
no,
he's talking about?
Hear me out. Hear me out, bro. Hear me out. in
Nah, you
defense
funny
of
as
your
fuck,
family,
dog.
in defense of your little brother and your little sister, if you gotta sock somebody, like just know I'm gonna let you know up front before it has to happen.
We good.
You're not gonna get in trouble. I might have to come to your school and play like you in trouble, but as soon as we get in the car and we on our way out, I'm dapping you up like, hey, good job, man. Did it hurt? You know what I mean? Like, did you get him good? Like, he shouldn't be fucking with your family. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I told my son. Like, look, just be real with me, nigga. Like, don't go around bullying people. Don't be an asshole for the sake of being an asshole.
Right.
But, like, if somebody's fucking with your shit, fucking with your family, dog,
defend it.
it's all on the table, bro.
Yep.
In defense of my family, anything is possible, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, anything is
100%.
possible.
Yeah.
It's unanimous, bro.
Straight
Everybody
up.
thinks the same way.
I've had the same talk with my oldest too.
You know,
He's 3 years older than my youngest. I have 2 boys.
Right,
So
right,
that
right.
shit's gonna happen. It's gonna
Yeah,
come up
bro.
in their lives.
It's the
and I
senior to
mean,
the
you
freshman.
might even see them go at it. You know?
Oh fuck, I have like
Yeah.
well, they're 7 and 4, so it's
That's
not
what
too
I mean.
bad.
It's not
right
too
now.
bad.
Yeah,
It's not too bad. You know what I mean? Like they can go full force and no one would really get too
yeah,
hurt.
yeah.
You know
There's
what I
some
mean? Like,
tears, but
Yeah.
everybody smiles at the end.
yeah.
So, D, what's the difference with parenting girls?
Wait, say what?
What's the difference with parenting girls versus what Alan was saying with boys?
Well, you know, your ego has to be a lot more intact. You know, you got to really give off the thuggish.
I was. I wasn't even
Just so
paying
niggas
attention.
know not to come over here. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait
I was
to the
throwing
day
it
somebody
in
show up to
and
the door
out,
talking
I
about,
was real
I'm here to
shit.
take Addie out on a date.
Yeah, you're waiting.
Wayne gonna call me sweating like, Al, this little motherfucker, he came up in here, he was smelling good, had a fresh haircut. Can you believe this motherfucker? Like,
Oh, not
I
this.
cannot wait, nigga. I got a little girl, but like, it's gonna happen for him way sooner than it's gonna happen for me. You know what I mean?
It's coming.
Shit. I'm about to
Yo,
roast
that
your ass. Fire you up. Nah, you better chill out with all that stuff.
I'm just
boy.
saying.
You know how I
I'm
rock
just
my
saying.
fucking- You know how I get down.
I guess. I mean,
What?
sure.
Nah, you good. You good. I'm funny. This motherfucker's funny as shit, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to be
no,
it's
you
here.
the
got a lot-
fucking
you got a
truth,
lot
though.
To say. That's exactly what we needed right now.
Well, I'm glad to give it to you, brother.
It's the truth.
And I talk to this nigga every day. He don't ever compliment me about, yo, Al,
Hey,
you want
hey,
some other shit? Yo, I'll
hey.
call you back. Hey, man, my phone's gonna die, man. Like,
Hey, yo, my phone's gonna
hey,
die.
I
man.
be a busy motherfucker, dog.
He
you
do.
already
He
know. Shit. I'm just
That's
saying,
fucking
you know, but
so funny. Dude.
it's funny.
Yeah, it's always a blast when you guys come on, but the last one I had I was dying dude, the whole time. But hey, that's fucking real talk, though. You're fucking speaking from the heart as a father, man.
sure, man.
You know, I'm dealing with the whole
The highest honor, brother. You know what I mean?
100%.
This
The
is
highest
my
honor,
homie,
dog.
dog. My nigga, dog. You funny as shit, girl.
He didn't even know I was this cool. You know? Nah, I'm just saying.
Nah, but yeah.
So what's the difference raising 2 girls? What are you thinking about with 2 girls being a little older and the transition?
Oh man, I don't know.
You being a dad and you being a boy, thinking about what happens in
The only man in the house.
Oh no.
Outnumbered all the
Oh,
time.
no.
You know?
It's cool, you know.
How many times did
I
you
do
watch
my own
Moana?
thing. You know what I'm saying?
Tell the
You
truth.
get that way.
How many times did you watch
Girls'
Moana,
Day.
bro?
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Girls'
again?
Day. Yeah. Host.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So let them do their own
Nah, he's a
thing.
good
He
dad
did
though.
all his
Like
shit.
Wayne is very
You're
Yeah,
super
no, like,
involved,
you know,
man.
he is,
like,
dog. He is. I mean, credit to him.
fucking,
You know what I mean? I got a lot of friends. You know, you go through
Soft
stages.
spot.
You go
I mean,
through
you know how it
stages.
goes when you got the kids.
Yeah,
and
you go
shit.
through
You know
stages
how
in
it
life,
goes.
right? Like we were all young men at one
Yeah.
time,
Right.
and we thought certain things were important. You know what I mean? Like, and it might have consumed majority of your day trying to acquire it. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, you grow out of
word
those
this shit.
stages,
Perfect.
right? You grow out of those stages. Like, and it's so awesome to see some of my friends who I did some not so honorable things with at one point in our lives.
Like what?
Well, we're not gonna snitch on ourselves. Who you working for? No, I'm playing. Like, no, but it's cool. It's cool to see them grow into parents,
Yep.
and then like you're a parent, and you're changing, and you're learning, and you're growing, and you're trial and error.
Right.
And it's like you don't get to see your boys every day, but when you do get to see your boys, You know what I'm saying? You get to talking, and it's like, oh, y'all niggas dealing with that shit too. Like, yo, bro, you wouldn't even believe. And like, yo, he ran away from me in the store. I told that nigga, get over here and hold my hand. You know what I mean? Like, the shit you talk about as you get older when you have kids.
Yeah.
It's like, some of my friends who don't have kids, it's not like I purposely cut you out of my life. It's just our interests are different. We
got kid shit going on.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you still on, yo, man, I'm going to go pick up so-and-so, but then I got to drop her off because I got to go meet up with this other one. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool, bro. Like, I got one girl and 3 kids. I ain't got no time for nobody else, nigga. Like,
Right. There's no time.
yeah,
bro.
but I mean, it's not like I'm trapped. Like, I love my girl. I love my wife, nigga. Like, she's the best. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to do kids with anybody else,
Well,
to be honest, bro.
One good thing I find of getting together with your friends that have kids around the same age is seeing that fucking your kids are just as crazy as everybody
Yeah.
else. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, at least it's
son.
not just fucking
Yeah.
mine that don't listen, that fucking do crazy shit, jumping off everything. Like,
Your
fuck.
couch got holes too? Shit.
Thank God.
Like,
I
I got a
it was just-
trampoline in the backyard, and these niggas just won't stop jumping on this couch, dog. Like,
It's like I'm saying it in Russian or
Yeah,
something. These
you know?
motherfuckers.
yeah.
Holy
But I
shit.
mean, that it's, you know.
Nah, yeah, it's like reassuring that, like, hey, we're all crazy. We're all fucking feeling the same way.
It's all natural.
Yeah. But that's not just like that's not with just the people that you know. Like you look at on a macro scale, right? Like different countries. We speak different languages. We eat different foods. We dance different. We have different music, right?
Right.
But generally, don't even matter what religion it is. We care about the same shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, we care about eating, our kids having a safe place to grow. You know what I mean?
Clean water.
Clean water. Like,
Family.
generally, we care about the same shit. It's just like, we let other niggas get in between us, and we start bickering over dumb shit. We start talking about what team we're on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody ultimately just wants to be happy and,
Yeah.
like, the least amount of
Yeah.
struggle possible.
Most people want to be left alone and be able to provide in honest ways.
And it's
You know what I'm
crazy
saying?
how like our society is designed for the opposite of that.
For sure.
Like football season's coming around.
Yeah.
Fucking Raiders Nation,
Yeah.
Steelers,
Yeah.
Cowboys. Like it's like we purposely create this fucking divide, especially in Hawaii. It's like there is no teams out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You may like a team that is not your team. You're
Yeah.
not from there.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
be
yeah,
real,
yeah.
people. Yeah, I get it. You're a fan of the team.
Yeah.
You have some tie to the
Yeah,
team.
but Marcus Mariota is my cousin, dude.
I mean, you're my cousin too.
Yeah.
I mean, like everybody, I get it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But it's like we purposely create a divide. We create conflict, bro.
Yeah, but you know what? There's nothing wrong with like to me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with having like a favorite football team or a favorite sports team in general. Any
100%.
favorite anything, your favorite brand of whatever it is, right? My thing is like you just shouldn't give it that much importance. It shouldn't be more important that far away than what you come home to every day. You know what I mean? Like,
but we're talking about like root as a human being. We want
Oh,
to
yeah,
be happy,
for sure,
right?
for
we
sure,
don't want
for sure.
conflict. We want to be peaceful.
yeah.
But it's crazy for recreation. We create division.
Well,
we
we also-
simulate war. That's what all of that shit is. It's a simulation of war, right?
Unreal.
And
Like-
we all want to be a part of a tribe, so when you watch from home and you put on
Yeah.
your jersey, you feel like you're on the team or what, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Like, yo, when Max Holloway fights,
Everybody fights.
nigga, it's
Everybody,
wild,
yeah.
bro. The islands is with him, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, and to Canada's credit, they rocking with him too. You know what I mean? Like, Max is big in Canada, you know? But, I mean, to me, that's why I think MMA got so big so fast. You know what I mean? It's because this is what we're doing with every other sport.
Right.
But we're distilling it down to
Yeah,
the
it's like-
purest form of one man versus one man, or one woman versus one woman.
War,
you know
the
what I
whole
mean?
war. Fucking.
Yeah.
Let's just have them
mentality.
fight
Yeah.
already.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
It's a simulation of war, right? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like who's going to be dominant? Who's going to dominate in these certain situations?
Our
who's
tribe
gonna
leader
who's going
is
to be
the best at
triumphant?
war.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like that's some ape shit. That's all. That's some
And
ape
if we
shit.
could, I think people would want to see people die. Like, let's see it. Like,
I know. I
Roman
think there would
days, like,
definitely
to
be
the
people
death,
who would
let's
call for
fucking-
that.
Still, yeah.
I mean,
Who
it's
would
in all the
definitely pay
movies.
the $6.99 or the $69.99 to watch it.
In
you know?
every 90s movie, it was like some underground fight league where
Hell yeah.
somebody
Look at
died.
Squid Games.
Bloodsport was my shit, nigga. Lionheart, all of that. I love John Claude Van
insane.
Damme, nigga.
Bro.
To the death.
Yes.
Nah, he was the shit, though.
Dude,
Yes,
But yeah,
Gladiator
Squid
movies.
Games too. Squid Games too. Like,
how it took off. I mean, like even they had the one from Japan, Battle Royale. It's kind of the same thing, but that's why those movies did so good because of that whole mentality.
Well, you put yourself in the position of the people playing without actually having to be the person playing the fucking game, and you get to like fantasize like what would you have done, like, how would you have played it differently and shit.
The thing about the process of conflict in war, right? It shows you every shade of a human. You can see courage, bravery come to the forefront. You know what I mean? You can see cowards. You can see like the worst kind of evil that gets brought out, right? But all that whole like swirl of potential emotions and characteristics that could be conjured out of that activity, right? That shit to me is what's like, we're all addicted to that swirl to see what can come out of whatever it is we're doing. You know what I mean?
That's fucking gnarly.
Legit, you know what I mean? But you see all the best parts of man and all the worst parts of man in the same canvas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's why I think that's why we try to find different ways to fucking present it to people, right? Like, hey, you know, who's the best pog player? Bitch, me, nigga. That's who. You know what I mean? I got some slammers, dog. You know what I mean? Like no, you ain't seen my technique, dog. You know, I come in from the side. You know what I mean? Like, we come up,
slice the pack.
Yeah, we come up with all kind of fucking weird ways to show that microcosm of characteristics and potentials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, you ask anybody who's been to war, right? The ugly shit is fucking ugly. Like, that's some people can't shake what they see.
Well, that simulation of war is for everybody, but war is not.
It's not for everybody, bro. For sure, dog.
That's just not for me.
Not at all, man. I mean, I'd rather not. Like, I ain't no killer, but don't push me, nigga. You know what I mean? Like,
shout out to Tupac.
For sure. But
yeah, man, it's crazy talking about these primal instincts that we
yeah,
have.
man. I mean,
ingrained into our DNA.
For sure. And we don't even know, like, we don't even recognize it when it's happening or when we're rooting for something or when we don't even recognize what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even saying, like, I know, I see it. Like, I'm just saying, like, just if you think about it, we're just simulating something every time we watch a football game or a basketball game. Like, you know, we invest our emotions and our energy behind a certain team. And, like, you want to hope that you pick the winning horse.
Right.
Because I'm better at picking winning horses than you guys. You know what I mean? That's all it is, right?
It's all a dick measuring contest.
Yeah,
Human beings are notorious for that.
Yeah.
Well, I find it funny when it's we won. Oh, we did good.
I know, right? But when they lose, like, yo, these motherfuckers suck, dog. Like,
oh shit. When did you get drafted, man? Shit,
for real.
How much they paying you to root from your couch?
Like, you know, when, let's say, BJ Penn gets finished, you know, everyone's like, "Oh,
bro,
fuck," you
bro.
know what I mean, like,
there's like you can feel it in the streets, and I get like when someone from Hawaii loses, like, especially when
a little tense walking around.
It is, dog. It's a little tight, yo. You know what I mean? Like I ran into. Matter of fact, I took my wife to dinner at Asagio's in Kailua. Shout out to Asagio's. And it was the week after BJ Penn fought Brian, or not BJ Penn, but Max Holloway fought Brian Ortega, right? And it was like, we sat down, me and my girl sat down. We was waiting by the bar for a seat to open up, and there's, oh, you can come this way. So they take us to the back, and we sit down. And I'm like, they got this little divider right here, right? And
guy shadow boxing next to you.
Nah. Like, so initially I just noticed, like, oh, that's a fresh fade. Like, whoever did his fade know what they're doing. You know what I mean? I couldn't even see his face. You know what I mean? But then, like, I heard him laugh, and like he kind of leaned up, and I was like, oh shit. And I looked at my wife, I was like, yo, man, that's Max Holloway. You know what I mean? Like, but I couldn't. What? Yeah, I was like, that's Max Holloway, man. You know what I mean?
You gotta text it to her. Like,
yeah, like I didn't want to be like all out in the open because he was with his girl, you know, like, and what I wanted to do is like, yo, Max, I saw the fight, man. You was a beast, dog. Like, we was over here going crazy for you. You know what I mean? But I recognized, like, yo, man, he having dinner with his girl. Like,
of course,
there's a bunch of niggas that want to do this right now, and I'm not gonna be the one to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Just slide a note through the device.
I mean, I wanted to do all kind of shit to let the nigga know, like, I approve. You know what I mean? But I just kept it to myself. But I saw on his way out, like, it was a bunch of niggas that came up to him asking for his autograph, take a picture and shit. But I was like, well, I wasn't the one. You know what I mean? Like, I respected his night out with his girl.
You respect the time and the place for that shit.
Yeah, like, you know, he's a father. He got a kid. You know what I mean? Like, he's now recently married. He got a wife.
What'd you do?
I sat there and ate my fucking food like a gentleman, nigga. I let that nigga be, dog. Like, I let him breathe. Nah. I mean, you know,
not a quick over the
yeah,
top.
nah. I mean, I'm kind of a big deal on my side too. So you know, I know I could be, you know, everybody running up to you,
wondering why nobody's recognizing you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But you know, I'm like, you know, it's cool. But
You hear Max? Yo, that's Alan. Yo.
Nah.
That's Alan.
I was before his time, man. No, shout out to Max Holloway, man.
Good win,
Yeah,
buddy.
Great representative for Hawaii.
That's
too.
my cousin.
Fucking, we always ask our guests when was the first time they smoked weed.
Yeah, this is a late one now.
I know, we never get to it.
Ooh.
We just jumped right
Let's
in.
start with D. He's been so quiet.
Yeah.
When was the first time you smoked weed?
I'm just posting.
Came out the room smoking. What you mean?
Over here listening to
The doctor
him
said
the
it
whole time.
smells in this motherfucker.
I smacked the doctor. Like,
Blowing my mind the whole time, listening like, what the fuck?
yeah, well,
Hey, but it was funny. as
just
shit,
when you
though,
think you know somebody.
like, I know, like, boy, this thing been waiting to get on the podcast for.
Nah, I
Seemed
mean,
like waiting to unload.
I love
We
it.
had a
It's
whole bunch
awesome.
of shit to talk about.
Oh yeah.
well, you're welcome. No,
Yeah,
no,
thank you.
man,
That shit was great.
Cause you kind of quiet over here, Wayne. No, the people want to hear from you.
Oh,
You the
man.
face of Pakamai, bro.
One half.
You out here in the streets,
Shit.
Wayne.
I just be chilling, you know. I don't do
I do the paperwork, nigga. That's all. No.
yeah, this motherfucker does all the talking.
I make sure the licenses are good and shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, when you see a long ass comment on a random post or whatever, it is 99.9.
Or what I've
This
done
motherfucker,
recently,
yeah.
what I
When it's
love
some-
to do
some
is
ranted shit.
leave a comment with the smirk emoji, because this nigga hates that shit.
my
Yeah.
God.
He was like, yo, man, I just want to tell people, like, yo, if it's a smirk, it's you. Like, so I just smirk on all the comments. Like,
Sorry. He's smirking at everything.
What does it mean? Like,
Yeah. What does a smirk
Rest
mean?
in peace, auntie.
it's like a,
Fucking like, dog, you can't use the
that never
smirk
happened. That never
for that,
happened.
you
That nigga
fucking
lying. That never
dumbass.
happened, bro. That never happened,
Dumbass,
bro.
like, that's so fucking.
I mean, it would be rest in peace, Auntie, with the prayer hands, bro.
Nah,
Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Like,
Prayer-
nigga, don't
prayer
use
hands,
smirk now.
still got the
I'm
smirk.
just saying.
You wild, Wayne. Rest in peace, Auntie, with the smirk. You're wild, dog.
Fucking funny.
You're
For real. Like, I be trying to tell him, like, stop using that fucking shit. Like, but whatever. I just gave up.
Yeah, it's
it
all
doesn't
good.
even matter. Motherfucker makes all these long fucking comments on.
Yo,
Fucking,
he'll call me like,
Fucking-
yo, man, I see these niggas, man.
Dog,
Like,
and
they
he's
gonna think
sitting
it's
there
me, man. Like,
fucking dog, he's sitting there, fucking arguing with some fucking random dumbass on the fucking internet in the comments.
Yo,
I'm
'cause
getting
there's some dumb niggas out
notifications
there.
and
There's some
shit.
dumb people out
I'm
there.
like, yo,
They
they gonna
set
think
some people
that's me.
straight.
They gonna think that's
Yeah.
me. and
No,
shit,
because we
like-
both got the IG on our phones,
Yeah,
right?
you know what
So
I'm saying?
he be
So-
getting all the alerts when it's like, yo, man, why are you still talking to that dude? I'm like, because he don't get it. He don't get that he's wrong yet. You know what I mean? Like,
Like, nigga,
he doesn't
and
get
it
that
don't-
he's wrong, right? You know?
It be paragraphs, and then the other motherfucker has to come back with a paragraph,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Hey, man.
real?
How long is this gonna go on now?
Yeah.
that's what we gonna do right now.
And
Like, all right, whatever. I just gave up on that shit.
text
You
him
know
on
what
the
I
side.
mean?
Hey, man, you trying
All
to get in
those
on this, dog?
fucking-
You trying to
all
get in
those
on this?
fucking encouraging fucking happy birthday Joe Rogans and shit. That's him
Hey,
too. You
yo,
know what I mean?
hey,
Like,
I
he's
like
just
Joe
one of
Rogan.
them. Like,
I like Joe Rogan.
no. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you like to talk to celebrities.
Oh,
in the
oh,
comments.
oh,
nigga. I'm
oh,
just saying,
here we go.
like,
Oh, here we go.
arguing,
Nah. I'm not
arguing
even, I'm not
with
even gonna do you
motherfuckers
like
in the
that, Wayne.
comments.
I'm not even gonna pull up the DMs, Wayne.
All right.
Okay.
Pull it up.
Hey, don't worry about that, though.
Yeah, I know. It's all above board. good, honest things in the DMs.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
you know what I mean. Oh, I'm just saying, like,
We wasn't trying to have a whole pono,
I know,
guys.
right? Somebody feel like they gotta get some things off their chest right now. Is that what this is, nigga?
what?
Like,
oh, shit. Go ahead. Shit.
I'm asking you, Wayne. I'm asking you. Like,
Get
no, just
mine.
like, anyway, back to the question of
When was the first
first
time?
time you smoked, right?
And got high.
You don't want that?
What's up, though?
That question.
The question, you don't want that?
When was the first time you got high?
It probably was in like 19
Sniffing markers.
motherfucking 97.
For real? 97?
Yeah, probably like 97. Like, long time ago.
How were you in 97?
I was definitely a freshman, or at least around. I think that, like maybe.
What's the
freshman or
story?
Shit, you know what I mean? But hey,
First time I smoked weed was with a NFL football player.
you a damn lie. That's not what you told me.
Well, it was with his little brother, but we was
His
so-
little
you
brother.
said you was smoking weed with DeMarcus, nigga.
no, that was the first time here. That was the first
You a
time here.
goddamn lie.
No,
Right?
for sure. First time here when I moved back to Hawaii. First time was with
all right.
DeMarcus.
Oh, your first.
Yeah, first time here was with DeMarcus.
Tell him about DeMarcus. Go DeMarcus.
Hey man, hey, DeMarcus was cool. He was alright.
that
He
nigga
was a cool
as
dude.
shit.
He was cool.
That was
dude.
his best friend though.
Well, I don't know
Anyway,
about
go
all
to
that.
that
He liked
shit.
you a little bit more than me.
They used to
but, you know.
French kiss, nigga.
Whoa, my kids might see this.
I'm just fucking around. I'm just
Apologize.
fucking around. I'm sorry.
Apologize.
I'm just kidding, nigga. I'm just kidding. hey, we was roasting. You was talking shit. Fuck you.
You always
nigga.
gotta go one
You know what
step
I'm
too
saying?
far, Wayne. Always one step
I'm
too
sorry.
far.
I'm just kidding. I be bullshitting.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Anyway,
but anyway.
Yeah, well,
But
so
anyway.
my homeboy Rashad, it was in Alaska in Fairbanks. Shout out to Fairbanks.
These was decades ago, though, right? True talk, right?
What you mean? What part are we true talking?
When the first time you was smoking?
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah. I was probably like 13, I think, 13 or 14.
All right, see.
But,
Okay.
Rashad,
record
my
and
homeboy.
shit.
Yeah, for the record, my homeboy Rashad. They grew up in Fairbanks. The brother. Shit, should I say his name? Can I say his name?
You don't have to if you don't want
Man,
to.
them niggas ain't going.
Well, he was a free safety, number 25 for Kansas City Chiefs at the time.
Oh
that
shit! I got the
was?
whole.
I'm not gonna say no
statistic.
number. I'm not gonna say no name. But
Yeah, I think you guys mentioned the name in the beginning before the story.
did I?
I think.
You said something like
Mm.
that. No way.
Well.
I wasn't listening.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anyway, that nigga ain't
People
playing
gonna
football no
rewind
more
this shit.
anyway. But
Anyway.
no, we was in their basement,
Oh shit.
and like their basement was dedicated to all of his
I remember
sports
this story
achievements
now.
and
I
shit,
remember
like
this story.
from Pop Warner all the way up to him getting drafted, like all his jerseys and shit like that. My homeboy Rashad was like, you know, he wasn't as talented. Like, and we found the brother's weed in the basement, and he was like, "Yo, you trying to smoke?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, whatever, man, whatever." Like my homeboy Rashad was like 2 years older than me. He was in high school. I was in like, it was the summer after 8th grade. So, you know, you got that little like, oh man, yeah, I'm a man too, you know, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he was rolling it up, and then his brother walked in the door, like, and he was like, oh nah, well you're not just gonna put it away now, y'all gonna smoke that. So we smoked it, and I got
Nice.
high for the first time with an NFL free safety, overseeing it all, you know what I mean? Like, and he was just laughing about the whole thing, you know what I mean? But that was my introduction to cannabis.
Hell yeah.
And it wasn't like I smoked regularly after that. I didn't start smoking regularly till I moved back to Hawaii. I was 14, you know what I mean?
But that was the moment.
That was the first kiss, you know what I mean? Like my first introduction to marriage.
It wasn't a French kiss, was it?
Nah, it was like,
Hey,
you know,
hey,
we were
hey,
pecking
hey,
around the
hey,
edges,
hey,
you know what I
hey,
mean? Like
goddamn
we were
it.
pecking
Hey,
around the
shit,
edges,
hey,
you know? But
Hey, is this shit still on? Oh,
yeah.
Hey, anyway, I was just kidding.
Yeah, I know. The first time I really got stoned with Dwayne though.
I was gonna ask that.
Like
next.
the very first, like when
I
it
don't
was-
remember that.
Oh,
Go
it was
ahead
in
now.
Nate. Yeah, you do. It was in Nate's
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
Honda, nigga.
Oh shit,
Bro.
goddamn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
remember
yeah.
that.
Well, no last names. Anyway, we was rolling
hell
up.
no.
We shot the loop. We shot the loop around Kailua, Lonnie Kai and shit. And didn't we end up by Collar Hill? Like we ended up parked up there by the church, right? Anyway, we sitting in the car and it's fucking smoky as shit. Like they got this shit chambered out, and I'm with like the older niggas, like Wayne, our homeboy Gary. He don't live here no more, and another one of our friends who was driving, right? And I'm sitting in this back seat, like are these motherfuckers even breathing air? Like, when are they gonna open the window? Like, it was my first time smoking with like the big dogs, right? You know what I mean? Like, they invited me for the ride, and I was like, yeah, hey, I'm a man too. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can handle. I'm from Guatemala. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I was sitting in the back seat with my head on that window, and I was like, Wayne. Yo, man, the window is sweating, dog. Like it was like there was condensation building up on the window, and I was just like, yo, y'all niggas gotta open the window, and everybody just started laughing, like,
Don't let it
this nigga, you know what I mean? I was the one.
Just waiting for somebody to make the call.
It took me a while to catch up, like to be able to go blow for blow. And if I'm being totally honest, like no ego involved, I don't think I could ever go like I ever caught up to where it was like I could smoke with this nigga all night. You know what I mean? I would smoke with him when I would get there, and then we'd just be high together. He'd continue to smoke.
It ain't really like that no more, though.
That's like me with him. I try to keep up.
Yeah. I mean, now I don't smoke at all. Like, he still smokes.
Yeah,
like a chimney.
I don't know.
Or not?
Nah, this CBD.
Yeah, CBD, of course.
Oh,
CBD.
Yeah. CBD doobies. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I guess.
Bro, yes.
CBD doobies.
Oh, shit. Over here looking like Ray Charles, nigga.
Just in case a motherfucker sees that.
CBD doobies. Plausible deniability.
Hell yeah.
That wasn't me.
Look at that goddamn CBD.
No. I never wear glasses that night. That ain't me.
That's my fucking twin.
My twin loves sunglasses at night.
That nigga birthday a different day.
So what about it, D? When was the first time you smoked weed?
Oh man, I don't even remember though. Tell you the truth and shit.
It's just been so many.
But I mean, yeah, it was in the mainland and shit though. You know what I mean? I was a freshman, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It was like after it was either after a basketball game, you know what I mean, at night, or high school basketball game type shit, or it was after or at like a fucking ditch party type shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, but then like, you know what I mean, I wasn't like a heavy smoker back then and shit because I used to play sports. You know what I'm saying? But then now it's different.
This is like once you graduated high school.
Like a mother.
CBD doobie.
Yeah, I heard it's great for inflammation.
Sure.
Of
Joint
what?
pain.
Yeah.
Sciatica, nigga. Sciatica.
Sciatica like a motherfucker.
Glaucoma.
Shit.
Isn't that like California, Sonoma County? What?
Yes.
Sciatica. It's a joke. Anyway.
Yeah, shit.
Fuck, so I don't know. I ate a piece of that show was pretty strong.
I know. I knew. He had that look in his eye. He was like, "You eating some podcast?" I was like, "I don't know if I should now."
Questionable, undosed. Do you fuck with edibles, D? I'll give you a minute.
The subtitles would read, "No, I do not."
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a little
translate
heavy.
it. Translate it.
Totally.
Rarely.
The next morning, I don't know. There's 3
Depends.
dots.
Maybe next time then.
Depends.
Shoot. Cool.
Yeah.
So did you stop smoking before like this evolution where like edible everything and fucking
bro,
like, all
legit.
that shit?
Like, so I got my I was working up at Kamehameha School for a couple years, but then they offered a CDL program, and I knew like, you know, you're gonna have to piss regularly if you get your CDL.
Yeah.
That was like 2015, before we even started Pakamai. You know what I mean? Like, I had already stopped smoking, and I had my son already and shit like that, but. Like, you'd be surprised how many niggas smoke weed at Kamehameha School. Like, I'm not gonna put nobody on blast right now, but good people up there. There are some good people up there for sure. Like some legitimate fucking Hawaiian practitioners, bro.
Here's a question, dude. Is it safe to say there's as much cannabis users as there is coffee drinkers?
Ooh, I don't know about coffee drinkers.
Think about it, because there's like people that are like, "Nah, I don't drink coffee. I drink tea."
But you think about the amount of weed smokers that are also coffee drinkers. Do they count twice? Or are you negating that like people that only do one or the other?
No. I mean, just saying like that would be a double standard. Like you would chalk it up.
Because I'll tell you what,
data.
those two streams intersect.
Yeah, they do it
for sure.
It's my
you know,
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I find that a lot of people in a lot of professions smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah,
And
like,
just
and I mean like lawyers,
about it.
lawyers
Yeah,
and
yeah.
doctors. You know, like
Right.
like a lot of people would be surprised. Like I worked at places like Home Depot, right? You know what I mean? And I could tell you this: the niggas that worked at Home Depot that I would smoke with regularly, we outworked all of the niggas who didn't smoke. You know what I mean? Like, so it's almost like some people will take it like, yo, it's a point of pride. Like,
Yeah.
I know I could come to work and I could smoke, and you guys would expect me to be lazy.
Yeah.
And then you guys could legitimately look down on me, like
stigma.
look down at me. You know what I mean? But if I work harder than all of you motherfuckers and I come to work on time every day and outperform all of you guys on a regular basis, suck my dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who gives a fuck if I'm smoking weed? You know what I mean? Like if I'm doing what I gotta do and then some, you can keep your opinions to yourself, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Reevaluate your biases, motherfucker.
yeah, for real. And I can honestly say that a lot of places I've worked, the people that I've smoked with, we made it a point to for sure get whatever we had to get done for the whatever was outlined for the day. We always made sure we got it done safely, and we worked harder than the niggas that didn't smoke. You know what I mean? Because we knew already. Like, and I don't know if that's something that's unique to Hawaii, because like cannabis is such a I wouldn't say open, but it's like it's accepted in a lot of different fields here. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a family member who smokes weed regularly.
Right.
Everybody knows somebody who got a weed man. You know what I mean? Like everybody does.
You can find weed
Yeah, you can
online.
find weed. You could trip and fall and bump into somebody who could either
Sells
give
weed.
you weed or find somebody who can get you weed.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's like a mindset that's just unique to Hawaii, because I mean majority of my like consistent cannabis smoking years has been here, and it's the only real environment I know. You know what I mean? But I've met like older guys that I've worked with who smoked their whole lives. You know what I mean? Like, and they're hard workers. They're the ones who are teaching the next group of young men who's coming in, or young women who are coming in, how to do the job safely and correctly. You know, like, but then it's like, you know, you guys might just be kicking it one day and he'd be like, hey man, I got some weed. And I'm like, what, nigga, you smoke? And then it's on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I respect you even more. You've been busting your ass this whole time and you've been smoking. Like, well, yeah, you know, like I do it. I don't smoke on the job, but like I'll smoke at home. You know what I mean? Like, and I just have like a, I don't know if I just respect people who work hard and smoke weed more than somebody who just works hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think I do.
They're
Like,
battling that stigma every day.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're actively, like, you found something that improves your quality of life, that rightfully belongs in the realm of your choice, if you want it or you don't want it.
Right.
That's where the question of cannabis should properly reside.
You know what's crazy? I was I used to work demolition.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like straight out of high school, I used to smoke weed all the time, and then well, still do. But fucking, there be guys that are like high on fucking meth,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to keep up with these guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? And they're getting hurt and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm working all safe, and I'm
Pushing
thinking to
through
myself,
though all the pain.
Yeah, and it's like if I get drug test, I'm busted. These guys are clean. You know what I mean? Like 3-day clean outs.
Yeah.
They're fucking good. So
No.
that stigma done fucking found its way into our fucking drug testing system.
Yeah, bro.
Instead of
And
being
that's a
straight
whole
across the board.
industry in and of itself, dog. You know what I mean? Like at my job right now, if you get into an accident, they're only testing for two things, and that's alcohol or cannabis. And cannabis can be in your system, some people would say up to 45 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you could be high on fucking pills
Yeah.
and then fucking
And be good in a couple hours. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
or be excused because it's a prescription.
yeah,
from a
or be
doctor.
excused because it's a prescription. You know,
So-
but there's no excuse for you if it's prescribed cannabis. You know what I mean? Like even though it's a
That
state,
makes no sense.
that makes no fucking
That
sense,
makes
dog.
zero sense.
Like the state, I feel like the state did a half-ass job. Like, look, you're gonna say that it's state law that cannabis can be used as medicine in the jurisdiction of Hawaii, right? You should also then take the next step, the next logical step, and say to all of the businesses who want to do business in the state of Hawaii that you can't penalize somebody who has a prescription or a license to consume cannabis.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a fight worth fighting. in
Yeah,
my opinion.
legitimately. Like
Yeah.
even if that was just the next direction everybody focuses their attention to. I feel like that would be a great improvement.
Big
You know what I
time.
mean?
And be the example by not doing that for
Fucking
all
up.
state employees.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the first people you do it to is all
Exactly,
state employees.
You know, I actually had a and I feel like you guys would be the guys to bring up this topic, right? So when I had my I got my 329 card right around the time we did the first cannabis expo,
Yep.
right? But I wasn't smoking, but I believed in the program. I believed in the Department of Health's program, trying to make it more accessible to people, make it easier for people to get their licenses, right? So I made a conscious decision to go and pay and get the license, right? Just to be one more statistic in the column of, wow, look at the increased amount of licenses that were handed out within this calendar year. You know what I mean?
Support.
Yeah. So the way I look at that, right? Okay, well that's one thing. We're gonna lay that out right there. I got my license and I wasn't smoking, but I
Right.
did it because I believed in the program. You know what I
Right.
mean? What I found out later, within that year of my license being valid, was that if I went to go apply for like a gun license, like a hunting license, I'm kept from being able to apply until after my license has lapsed for a year.
Right.
So
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
after your
1 year.
license expires, you have to let a whole year go by, right? So that's what stopped me from going to go reapply for
Right.
my 329 card, you know what I mean? Like just to say
Yeah.
that I agree, you know what I mean? But this is what I want to ask, right? Now, I don't know if there's any lawyers that watch the show or
Tons.
yeah. that's- No, but like I would look at it this way. They're restricting my right to acquire legal firearms, right? Based off of the regulation that for you to obtain a license, you can't be consuming narcotics or Schedule 1 drugs, right? Your consumption of narcotics or Schedule 1 drugs absolves you from taking part in that licensing program for a firearm, right? But this is what I'm saying. Like the fact that I have a license is not evidence of consumption.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
feel like that burden of proof is still on the state to prove, like maybe that the existence of me holding that cannabis license, the 329 card. I mean, I would give ground and say that that's grounds for you guys to give me a piss test. You know what I'm saying? To be able
Right.
to take that, but just to be able to
Disqualify
exclude
you.
somebody, disqualify
Disqualify
you
you,
just
yeah.
for holding a cannabis card.
Right.
I think that's totally fucking illegal, bro. Because I mean,
agree.
for me, I'm just speaking for myself, right?
Right.
I look at it like the Supreme Court's already ruled that you can use money as free speech. You know what I'm saying? So you can't use the exercising of a right to exclude you from the benefit of another right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so for me, using my free speech with my money and saying that my purchasing and qualifying for this license is not me saying I'm consuming cannabis as medicine
Yes.
or recreationally or anything like that.
Right.
Right.
What it's saying is that I agree with the program. I like the direction you guys are going. I want to see you succeed.
And you've gone
Right.
through
Yeah.
the process.
Yeah, and I don't think because I feel that way about this program, it should exclude me from being able to attain a hunting license or concealed carry.
Well,
Right.
you can
Or
get a
any
hunting
kind of-
license. You just can't get your firearm license.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
well, basically you can't own a gun
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the state of Hawaii
And
if you have a 329,
That's
which is
bullshit.
wild.
That's
Because
crazy.
like again,
I agree. That's
I
bullshit.
I can get a prescription from a doctor.
Yeah.
From fucking oxys
Yeah,
and get hooked on it.
I know
get
the
an
state of
addiction,
Hawaii-
and
the
have
state
or
a
I can
Hawaii-
just go
gun.
take like 8 NyQuils and have my
Yeah.
gun.
The
Right.
state of Hawaii just, I mean, I don't,
Bottle of
they just
Jack.
got sued. They just got sued in the Hawaii Supreme Court over the level of restrictions they put on a citizen's ability to own a firearm in Hawaii. Like they just lost that. I think it was at the beginning of this year. They had to implement new policies that would make that process of you attaining a license or registering a gun a little bit more easier for the population. You know what I
Right.
mean? All I'm saying is I feel like this is something that might have slipped through the cracks that maybe nobody's talked about. I just want to let anybody who's watching who might be in the state know the possession or the ownership of a 329 license should not exclude you from the right to keep and bear arms. because I'm just expressing my First Amendment right through me supporting this program that's a state program, and on the other end, a different section of the state is now saying, well, you can't exercise this Second Amendment right because you are in possession of this, and federal law says if you consume narcotics or Schedule I drug, you're not allowed to own a firearm.
Yeah, it's some bullshit.
Yeah, it's very, like, I'm just saying, just because I have the license, it doesn't mean I'm consuming anything.
You can smoke crack and like not, and just walk into a gun and shop and do that shit the normal way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as you like
I could be
are cool about it.
I mean, I could just be a raging alcoholic that has an anger problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Now own a fucking gun. It's like, oh.
Bro,
that's a better
That's
example.
what tripped me out. That's what tripped me out, right? So when I was driving CDL, when I was driving truck, that shit bugged the hell out of me, dog. Like, if I was to get into an accident and I pissed hot, right? I showed that I had THC in my system, I would lose my job. I lose my livelihood.
Right.
I would be disqualified from owning a CDL permit. Then the fines that you get while you're holding a CDL is a lot higher than a regular person who's just got a regular Type 3 license. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if I wanted to, I could get blackout drunk every night. And I worked with a lot of dudes who did. And it's like, these niggas is drinking till like 2 a.m, and we start at 5. You know what I mean? There's no way you guys, you're supposed to get like 8 hours of rest before you can come and go to work. Like, you're required by law to have at least 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I'm
not
saying?
still be drunk.
Yeah. But if I go out and drink all night, right, my employer is expecting, I don't give a fuck what you did last night. You better go run these loads, motherfucker. Go get that money, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like the way that they can just disregard certain safety regulations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, all I'm saying is, like, look, dog, if these niggas can drink all night and stay up all night and drink and then come in at 5 a.m, I should be able to work 12 hours and get home by 7, smoke a J, take a shower, and go to sleep. Like, I'm not trying to do much after that. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you I'll get more sleep than that nigga. You know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you, bro. You
Guaranteed.
10:30 you're looking at is late already. Like, when that's your nightly schedule.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of hypocrisy in
That's what
the
it
way
is.
the legal structures surrounding cannabis. It's just a lot of hypocrisy.
A lot of state laws, a lot of the way the direction that we go at, in the state level is hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Like, it's good for one, but not the other.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to the whole rec thing. Like, we're apprehensive on the rec thing because we know these law-changing entities are gonna fucking show up, and it's gonna make it harder and harder for us to make a living over something that we love to do.
Sure.
So that's where that's a double-edged sword, where people are kind of like, I don't know if I want to have a fucking completely rec program.
Would rec, like, that legal status be the same as like what we're talking about as like farming your own, like a potato, like whatever you want to do, just like it's free now, like it's a wild plant.
No, it's rec for consumption, but not rec for growing. It's gonna be to where, because they gotta control it. It's gonna be taxed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
But they don't control potatoes at farmers markets.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you
Tomatoes.
pay a fee and you're operating as a business, so you're paying taxes in a farmer's market.
True
A
that. True
legal
that.
farmer's market, you do that. So there is also that fucking red tape that's being.
I mean, I
slapped
personally think
on.
taxation is theft. Just want to put that out there. But in a truly just world, you'd be able to grow it freely, buy it freely, share it freely,
open market
without anybody in between that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
all things.
everything.
yeah, everything,
Especially
anything.
Like, to tax something that comes from the earth is some bullshit.
That's
Anyway.
some wild shit, dog.
You
know?
can't catch water here in Oahu,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And you're telling me I'm paying you that tax because you've made up a rule? Like,
And it's not even fair of
Yeah.
a rule.
Yeah.
It's something that hinders us as society.
for sure.
So it's like, why would you even make that fucking rule if it wasn't some incentive behind it? Oh, we know you're fucking incentive.
My thing is this: look, I got to give the government X amount of money every year for the amount of hours and labor I put into my job.
Right.
All I'm saying is, dog, I don't ever see that government employee standing next to me, digging in the trenches, doing the work with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so you got some accounting to do, bro. Like, if you're going to take this money, tell me what the fuck you using it on, bro, because it ain't coming back to me or mine.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm out here working. I'm trying to do it right. I'm trying to do it the right way, and I'm paying my taxes and shit. Like, Uncle Sam, you don't want Uncle Sam coming knocking on your door.
Nah.
Because when he coming to
bring
take
the
it all,
heat.
bro. He coming to take it all. When the men with guns come to the door, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's a shitty, unfortunate situation. to find
Meanwhile,
yourself.
you don't have a fucking firearm to protect yourself from the
Exactly.
guys with the guns
But
at
they
the
like it
door
like
because
that.
you have a fucking cannabis
like
card.
it.
Have you ever heard of Aaron Russo?
Of course.
Yeah, that
Freedom
one.
to fascism, dog?
Yeah,
That is such
where
a
he talks
gnarly-
about like federal taxes is not a thing.
Yeah. Well, the income tax.
Or federal income tax.
The income
Right.
tax is not. Like,
And-
there's no law that they can point to that says, this is the law that says the average person has to pay an income tax based off of their labor. There's nothing on the books. Like, you look at the IRS code, right? It's like that fucking thick, right?
Huh.
And in this book, billionaires find ways to avoid paying these niggas any money, right?
Right.
But nowhere in that book is there a line in it that says your labor is required to be taxed. I think there's only the only type of legal lawful tax is an apportion tax, like something that would be attributed to a good, like a sales tax. That's legit, or like a gas tax. Like there's a 6% tax on gas every time you buy a gallon of gas, right? So when people say, oh, how would you pay for the roads if you didn't pay your income tax? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're paying for the roads out of the money that's generated from the tax of every gasoline of gallon that gets sold. So your right to be on the road comes from whenever you go and purchase gas at the pump. It has nothing to do with your income tax. And then on top of that, I think it was Ronald Reagan who he implemented what is that commission? Not the church commission, but anyway, it basically did an investigation on trying to find out where does the income tax money go, right? 100% of all revenue generated from the income tax.
Blowing my mind.
No, for real though. 100% of the money collected from the income tax that we all pay every year. Let's just throw some things on the table. What do you think it goes to?
Fuck, I have the slightest idea.
Wayne, any ideas?
Where does it go out?
I don't know.
Where does it
say
go?
it gets
You tell
shredded
me.
and
No.
just like recycled?
It feels that
Where
way.
does it
It
go?
feels that
Goddamn
way.
it. Where does it go?
100% of all revenue that's collected by the federal government through the income tax goes towards paying off the interest on the debt, on the national debt. Now that alone, back to this money shit, right? Like, you want to talk about the nature of money, the nature of modern slavery, indentured servitude, right? You guys know how our money is created? Like, who's in charge of that? Constitutionally, the Congress is supposed to have the power of the purse. They're in charge of printing the money, coining the money, and all. That's their job. That rightfully belongs in the body of Congress. That way, the people are always connected to the creation of their money through their representatives. That's the way it's supposed to be, right?
And those motherfuckers just raise the debt ceiling all
legit.
the time.
Like,
Fucking-
they pretend to fight every year about a debt ceiling, and they try to fucking work in all their pork and their special projects and shit. And it's like, it's professional wrestling for adults, right? It's professional fucking wrestling. These niggas know how this shit's gonna end. You know what I mean? Like, we gonna get this money, bro.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And see you at dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah, anyway. So, in 1913, with the passing of the Federal Reserve Act, right? It basically, Congress abdicated their duties, right? They removed that duty from their shoulders and put it onto a private central bank, right? Now, these dudes are in charge of printing our money, right?
The Federal Reserve
The Federal
Bank.
Reserve. That's not even federal.
Not
like,
even.
It's not even fucking federal. It's
good branding,
yeah,
though.
Great, like FedEx, my nigga. Like FedEx, bro. You know what I mean?
But nobody thinks.
Yeah, if it's federal, it's got to be official.
But nobody thinks Federal Express is a part of the government.
Exactly.
That's why it's a great example to prove to people. Like, the Federal Reserve Bank, it's as federal as Federal Express.
The way that shit works, right? Let's just say just now, recent events, they just passed the spending bill, increased the debt limit by $1.5 million, right? Where does that money come from? Exactly.
Yeah.
It's no longer tied to any gold. There's no intrinsic value behind it. This is fucking zeros and ones on a computer, and they just print the shit up, right? Now, knowing that, there's no real effort behind creating $1.5 trillion other than whatever it takes for these niggas to fucking move their fingers in the Federal
Right.
Reserve, right?
Yeah.
So they create the 1.5. It's not even like they're printing it anymore. It's just
Right.
numbers on the screen.
Exactly. All
They're
digital.
Hey, they running it up, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like they're printing physical cash anymore. They're just adjusting the ledger. You know what I'm saying? But off of that $1.5 trillion, each dollar comes with a percentage of interest. So let's just say we start at zero. There's no national debt. And we need $1.5 trillion. Okay, boom. They print the money. The government receives $1.5 trillion, and then it injects it into the market, into the economy. Now, we all have money in our hands. We're exchanging money for goods and services. Now, for us to pay that tax back, the government has to collect 100% of the currency. Now, let's just say we are in debt $1.5 trillion. There's only $1.5 trillion in circulation. But that original loan that the central bank gave out to us came with interest. So for them to pay off the principal loan, they would have to confiscate all the money in circulation. But then where do we get the money to pay off the interest? We got to go back to the central bank and ask them niggas to print us some more money so we can pay off the interest. And it's a washing cycle, bro. It's indentured servitude. We, like when they say the United States is in debt $30 trillion, it's like, niggas, just stop thinking. Like, okay, who do we owe that money to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, we owe the money to the organization that we created. So how's about we just fire them niggas? Boom, problem solved. No $30 trillion owed.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, why are we subjecting our citizens and our economy to the whims of a bunch of private bankers
Right.
when we're employing these motherfuckers? You know what I mean? Like, we're giving you the job to print the money. The nerve of you motherfuckers to put interest on this shit. You know what I mean? Like there's only been 2 presidents in history, right, who have actively sought to create interest-free bills,
Okay.
promissory notes. Any guesses?
I know JFK was one of them, right?
That's
and
one.
Fucking, I was gonna say Eisenhower, maybe.
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh.
Both of these niggas got their heads blown off, bro.
Jeez.
You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Like,
Welcome to
Bro,
Everyone Knows You're High.
both of these niggas got
Conspiracy
their head blown
edition
off.
again.
I'm just saying, like, you can argue and bicker about almost anything, and it can come to nothing. It can just be fucking fighting on the news stations and fucking the airwaves and on the radios. You're taking this side, taking that side. They don't give a fuck. As long as you guys ain't talking about who's controlling the money, nigga. As long as y'all not worried about this, as long as you guys are worried about gender issues.
They give us
and
plenty shit to fight
You know what I
about.
mean? Like dumb, like not dumb stuff, but just like in the overall scale of things that should matter,
It's not
this
that
ain't even
important.
top 5, son.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when it comes down to the issue of money, though, you're not gonna have that conversation on live TV. You know what I mean? Like
Hell no.
you're not gonna have a perspective or a position that's contrary to what's good for the system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the last 2 presidents who tried it, both of their blocks got knocked off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Makes sense.
but you know,
Fucking sense.
it also gives any future presidents an example of what could
be
happen
fucking with
if
our money.
y'all niggas try to get out of line.
You see
know
what
I mean?
happens?
Yeah, it's like some mafia shit. Like there's no bigger, more ruthless gang in the world than like the financial gangs.
Right.
These niggas is ruthless. They don't give a fuck if you lose your house.
Right.
They don't give a fuck if you and your kids end up on the streets.
Right.
Bitch, give me my money.
And that's
you know what I
what-
mean?
That's what Aaron Russo said, is that you don't have to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
But when they come asking for it, like, good luck. It's like when the mafia comes and says, hey, we're going to
Yeah.
pay you for
Because
protection.
I-
Like, you don't have to pay the
Yeah.
mafia, but
Yeah.
see what happens when you don't pay.
Yeah. Yeah, legit. Like it's some mob shit, dog. You
That's
know, like
fucking
if you ask
crazy.
anybody, a room full of 100 people who are all employed and working with families to feed, if you ask them, like, hey man, if you were given the opportunity not to have your check garnished every 2 weeks and give that money to the federal government, like, would you take it? Or would you just keep giving them the money? You know what I mean? Like, they probably might ask you some questions like, well, like, what's the catch? Like, no catch. Like, if you could just give it or not give it, no penalties,
What would you
either
do?
way, what
Yeah.
would you do? I guarantee you, north of 98% of people will be like, "Yo, fuck that, keeping my money, man." You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
I'll never see none of the money these niggas take from me
Right.
anyway. You know, like, but
And you'll get that very few that's gonna be like, oh, no, we need that money for our roads.
Yeah,
we need that
yeah.
money for this.
But that's why we pay car registration at a crazy rate here.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
100%.
and our roads are still
They're
fucked.
looking at
Yeah.
like they're conforming to like, okay, I got to do my due diligence as a
For real,
citizen. you
for
know, real blindly. And
Yeah.
I got family members like that. Like, why don't you ever question anything?
Yeah.
You just follow fucking blindly.
Yo, and on that note, I want to give a shout out to Augie T, man. Apparently, they just had like a bill. Somebody presented a bill to increase the funding for the rail, and he voted no on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I mean, I'm just gonna say this: when we're giving the government as much money as we're already giving them, maybe the solution to our societal ills isn't to give them more money.
Right.
Like, how's about we demand some accountability with the last batch of money y'all niggas stole from us? You know what I
First,
mean?
yeah.
Show us some results for the money y'all already taken before you start asking me for some more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, the idea that you guys were shitty with the amount that we gave you the first time.
Credit.
Yeah, it's not very, I don't feel too good about giving you more and
Yeah.
thinking that, it could be different this time. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like,
Kind of common sense, actually.
yeah, like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that for this nigga. You know what I mean? I've known him for 15 years, you know? Like,
Yeah. Well,
I might actually do it for him.
The,
to be
the
honest, I might
cannabis
do it for
industry
Wayne.
is kind of just like that. Like, you'll have investors that just put in money,
Yeah.
and there's no return. And whoever's there managing the place
Yeah.
is just fucking switching it up, man. So it goes all around, man.
Yeah.
You see that shit. Miscommunication.
Good way of bringing it back to cannabis, actually.
I keep it centralized, man. Do a good job reeling it back in, but still staying relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucking money, man. It's made monsters out of human beings.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
The pursuit of money and power.
That's why I tell everybody the Ahupua'a system is the
But
perfect
there's some
system.
people that have so much money already that money isn't the motivator.
Yeah.
It's control and power,
Yeah.
and it's their sick fucking roots. It's like, I want you to do this because I got more money.
No.
I'm better than you. You know what I mean?
Like, in the same vein of, there's people out there who have so much money. Now, I know we're not going to go too far into the weeds on the COVID thing, right? Pfizer is making $1,000 a second. I'm just going to leave it at that. $1,000 a second, bro.
All the time or just during
No,
the
but
pandemic?
just
Racks
because
right
of
now.
this
Just
pandemic
right now?
COVID thing. It's $1,000 a second.
Did you see that super clip of brought to you by Pfizer?
Bro!
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Man.
There's like 15 of them.
Yeah.
Jesus.
More than that. It was like north of 25, I think. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fucking crazy. It's
Yeah.
I mean, it's blatant. And that's
Yeah.
what's beautiful about the internet right now, because
Yeah.
it exposes that, or has
Yeah.
people like you, me, you know what I mean, like everyone here that there's some fucking bullshit. Let me make a fucking edit video on how bullshit this is. And
Yeah.
here you go. Bing.
And it's like that other one where they show the same script
bro,
being read by
yeah.
all the different
And then
newscasters.
they play like 40 different screens, and they're
Yeah.
all saying in different cadences, different inflections
Yep.
on the words,
Yeah.
but it's literally word for word the same fucking script. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Uh-oh.
they were saying what? Like, there's only 5 different corporations who pretty much own our media space. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
like
Fuck that.
if these niggas don't want you to hear about nothing, you're not gonna hear about it.
Nope.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Remember that Tianjin fucking explosion in China?
yeah, bro. They try to say it was from fireworks or some shit. That shit
Have
was
you ever
big,
the
son.
Lebanon one? Have you ever?
There was like
fucking-
a
No.
span of time where there was like
Yeah.
a bunch of explosions around the world
Yeah.
in like a month or 2 month span.
big motherfucking
Do you know
explosion.
what was the cause of that Tianjin besides fireworks?
You know what I saw? The one in Beirut. You remember that one?
Yeah,
Beirut was
Lebanon.
gnarly, son.
that was like fucking missiles or
There
some
was this
shit?
one video that came out that apparently showed a missile, and they were able to get 2 camera angles that showed it. But that was CGI bullshit, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It was the exact same.
Well, that's like
people,
that deep fake shit, right?
Right.
Like deep fakes is they out there. It's a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
And nowadays, you can't believe what we talked about on the last episode. Like,
right? You can make them say and do
say
whatever.
anything. It's crazy. Deep fakes. That shit. That you seen the Tom Cruise one,
yeah, it does. Yeah.
bro?
But I mean, they got like filters like that now on Instagram. You know, like shit you can just do from your phone. You can be somebody else, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, It's interesting times for sure, you know.
But it's kind of like when you watch like those futuristic dystopian movies where the leader is just some face on a screen and you never actually see them in person.
Yeah. Or
we
some
could be
floating fucking head.
Yeah, we could be seeing that, and it's like a hologram, or you know what I mean? Like everybody's in front of a green screen nowadays. You don't know where the fuck they actually are. How do you know if they're even real?
True that.
So now we're getting to that metaverse shit talk
That's
again.
what I'm saying,
Circling around back.
I mean, what kind of avatar y'all gonna make? Nah, just like,
the fuck, man. Tom Cruise.
I don't think I'm jumping
Tom
in.
Cruise does. Me either. I'm probably not gonna. Bro, I just came up on some legitimate land, bro. Like, so I'm gonna be busy. I'm not gonna make no time for anything, as far as like digital, digital appearances or none of that. Like,
Are they giving away the?
They're building true
and
wealth.
it's so wild that we got invited to this podcast from Kalei, and Erik. And it's like you own a grow supply, like, and I just got a bunch of land. I was like, dog, I came in here, I was like, yo, man, there's like so much stuff. I don't even know what this does. Like, what is this for? I'm thinking to myself.
You did the quick twirl in the
dog.
alleyway.
I was like,
awesome,
bro. I was like, I
what
came in here.
music was playing in your head at the time when you walked in? Like,
you know what? Honestly, all I could hear was
angels.
Nah, it was like, you find yourself in places in life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the universe is big. You know what I mean? And you always see a part of it somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get to see what everybody else sees. That's their experience. That's their life. They see different things in different orders. You know what I mean? But, like, there just be times in life where I just be like, man, this shit's supposed to happen. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, like, that's God. That's God telling me I got to do this. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like,
you went down the right path and it fucking guided in that right direction.
Yeah, like, I came up on this property, dude, and it was like I wasn't even looking for it. I wasn't looking for it. I was just going about my regular old day, thinking about the regular old shit that I always think about. You know what I mean? And bam, there it was. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
And
blessings.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From a dude that's like, he's my boss, but of all the bosses to have during the time that we're in, like, he's the best kind of boss I could even ask for.
100%.
Legitimate, bro. Legit. Like, he actually gives a shit about the quality of life of his workers. You know what I'm saying? Like he asked me about my kids. Like, hey, Al, how's your kids? You know what I mean? Like, I worked at a different company for 3 years. I might have spoke to the owner twice, and both conversations were less than 15 seconds.
Are these like local companies or like mainland companies that operate here?
Company.
Yeah.
It's a local
smaller
trash
big
company, kind of good size. There's not a lot of competition in that space. Like, definitely one of the bigger. Like, one of the two biggest ones, I would say. I don't want to put.
I'm not trying to but I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm
like,
not trying to shit on the dude. You know.
No, and I'm just trying to wonder like the size of.
Good size. Size. We had probably over 100 employees.
No, that's good that a boss can like have that kind of interaction.
Like, so,
with
and like that boss,
that
boss who I only spoke to twice in 3 years. Like, I'm not even shitting on the dude, like, he might just be really busy. Dude owns a bunch of different businesses. This is just one of them, and I work at one of them. You know what I mean? Like, but there was definitely no concern about, hey, what you got going on in your life? How's the kids doing? If I got to take off, it's like I got to come up with a foolproof, bulletproof story. Like, yo, bro, look, tomorrow I got to go do this, and this. I'm going to be here at this time. Like, I don't want to fucking have to explain to you like that. Like, the boss I got now is like, it's a smaller contracting company. Right. But, the smaller you are, the more intimate it is, the more you actually get to know people who work for you. And given the option, I prefer that. I prefer to work closer with like management. It's real easy. Like,
and that's where the generation kind of changed that mentality. Cause I remember like my dad them like worked for that big company. You got stability. They won't go out of business. And now it's like, fuck, the mom and pops take good care of you. You're still making that money and you're still doing the same shit.
Yeah. And I mean, he pays me well. But it's not even about like the work side that makes him awesome. It's like just the human shit, the human interaction with him is
the intimate relationship you have with your boss.
It's quality. Like, he really gives a shit how my day is, or like, oh, you got to take off tomorrow because your daughter has a cheerleading event. Like, it's cool. Go ahead, Al. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like begging or pleading. I appreciate that.
You don't
Or
feel
even
like
the
less of a
f-
person.
The feeling of like, yeah, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you don't get that suspicion.
Mhm,
There's
mhm.
the
You
You got to
suspicion's not
justify
there.
yourself.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
legit. Like I can come to him as a man, speak to him as a man, and walk away as a man.
Yeah.
You know, like
There's no bring a doctor's note.
yeah, none of that, none of that.
you,
Like yo, you were sick yesterday. That's cool. Well, you missed this, and this. We're doing this, and this today. You know, like
Right.
all right, I'll jump right in, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and when I like, but because I know how good of a boss he is, like I don't need him around to work hard for him because I appreciate what the opportunities he's
Right.
given me as far as like being able to work for him, introducing me to the people that he's introduced me to, that's opened up potential doors elsewhere, separate from his
Yeah.
company. You know what I mean? Like, and there's no like I had an opportunity to go to the parent company, like the larger company that we're contracted under, and you know, I wanted to go talk to him as a man, like, hey man, I don't know how you feel about this, but I want to let you know this is what I was planning on doing. It's for the interests of my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get in here, it'll set me up really well outside of my work life. You
Right.
know what I mean? And it wasn't even a thing. Like my man was just like, Alan, you go for it. You know, you take that opportunity. You know what I mean? And if it works out for you, like, I'll be happy for you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and then in the middle of that whole thing happening, boom, he's hit with a problem where he has a bunch of land in an undisclosed location, and he needs somebody to move in on it because he can't be out there. And
Right.
I'm like, bro, I live like 5 minutes away from over there. Like, I can do it. I can move my family in like next week. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing what type of like, there's some shit we have to fix as far as like the house. Like,
Yeah.
they have to replace some shit, and we have to now jump in where they left off to
Right.
finish it off before I move my family in. You know what
Gotcha.
I mean? But even though I'm not gonna be working for the nigga, like he's still gonna offer up that whole
Yeah.
new opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that comes with hard work and like, you know, dedication and like helping hands from the family. Like my mom them live like 5 minutes down the road. My aunties all live 5 minutes down the road. And then like when I told them, I showed them the property, everybody was like, yo man, like that's
Excited.
amazing.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
the fuck is this guy? Like, you
That's
know what I
what's
mean? Like,
up. Yeah.
and it's been great all around.
Good.
All around.
It's blessings. So much lessons to be learned on
Yeah.
the farm, and like during COVID and all this bullshit, the farm is what saved me. Like
Yeah.
I could just escape and
Yeah.
escape all the bullshit.
No.
The phone wasn't turned on. You know, I just
Yeah.
spent time up there with my family, and brad, COVID just passed me by
Yeah,
without
bro.
me even knowing. You know?
No, and the thing that COVID really sifted to the surface is the issues with the supply chain, right? How vulnerable we are as an island
right.
Mm.
society. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like in the middle, we're the furthest from any other landmass
Right.
than anywhere else on the world. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like every other part of the world is closer to another piece of the world than
Right.
we are. We're so far away. We're the most secluded society on earth. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So I think to me with COVID coming and just the hell of a fucking year we all went through. Some people lost their jobs. Some people lost their businesses. Shit was tough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like it should force us to ask some tough questions and be ready to answer those questions and address those questions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And the supply chain is, to me, the supply chain issues we got with our food and the amount of it that comes in from overseas, the natural antithesis to that scenario is fucking farming, bro.
Right.
Growing your own food, dog. You know what I mean? Not just your food, but growing the food for the people you know, the people
Yep.
you care about,
Yep.
the people that mean the most to you. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like there is an element of farming that can encompass a sustainable business where money can be made. You know what I mean? But in that,
Yeah.
tucked in all of that, is your ability to feed your families. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like whether you sell this shit or not, we can eat it. You know what I mean? Like
Dude, I was sitting at home like thinking like, okay, when the whole toilet paper shit was fucking, people were going bananas.
for real though.
And I was like, you know what? Yeah, if the containers don't come, like my farm's set up to be fully sustainable. Like
Mhm.
I could easily feed my family
Yeah.
and then probably take care of another family or
Yeah.
supplement or something for another family. Like it's small scale, but it's sustainable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have I'm a carnivore. Like I eat meat, so I have meat readily available at all times. So it didn't really cross my mind. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, no toilet paper. Fuck it.
How you gonna wipe your ass though?
That's what I was gonna say. I got bananas, man. Banana leaves, yo.
Yeah.
Good.
Go like the Middle East, man, and
But-
just fucking use your hand.
But for
Rinse
Hawaii,
that
it's
shit,
not
yeah.
just the food that gets shipped here. It's everything, like the
Yeah.
toilet paper, like everything else. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Hawaii doesn't manufacture anything that I know
Yeah,
of, really.
we don't export anything.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well,
We don't
Hawaii
export
also, we're
anything.
consumers on a
Yeah.
big scale
Yeah.
because we outlived our space.
Sure.
That's why we're consumers. We
Sure.
can't be self-sufficient because there's fucking golf courses.
Yeah,
God damn it, the
Well,
golf
we're
courses.
dependent on the fucking supply chain,
Right, and
And
that's
what
what we-
gets shipped here.
That's where we fucked up because we weren't. Hey, you know what?
Did we fuck up, or was it by design?
I mean, that could be completely true.
I feel like Hawaii is the perfect testing ground for a lot of shit.
bro.
Yeah.
A lot of shit, dog.
Society will react on based off a small scale in Hawaii. Like,
Yeah.
oh, if we fucking remove this from society, like, what was it? The remember, Anonymous when they shut down PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
people were
They
going.
did, how did they shut
Yeah.
up?
Dude, they shut down PlayStation.
Well, how about
Network.
like a few weeks ago when Instagram and Facebook were
Yeah.
down?
For
I
like
didn't
a
notice
day,
that shit.
bro. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
For like a day. Everybody was like, yo,
What?
did you guys forget about outside? There's a whole outside out there, guys. You know what I mean?
You mean to tell me I can take a shit and look at the
Yeah.
ground?
There's a whole outside, guys. You know, like, and it only lasted 48 hours at tops. You know what I mean? For some places.
See, that's
but-
why I'm kind of blessed. Like, it didn't really affect me. Like, I didn't feel it. I wasn't on my phone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I was like, oh shit, was like, yeah, dude, I get to post. Like, oh shit, dude, you try to post every day, huh?
There's a
Yeah.
lot of people like that though,
Yeah.
like you, that weren't affected, but there's a lot of people that fucking did feel it and were like panicking.
I'm just trying to, since we got.
I
the
went
shop,
to Twitter to go see just
back
to
out.
see what's up,
Yeah.
and then
For
I saw
real,
all the posts
for real.
about
I know
everybody
was
coming to
tripping,
Twitter
dog.
to see if
Everybody was tripping.
Instagram's down.
Telegram had a fucking influx of like fucking 15 million users.
No
crazy.
shit.
In
Yeah.
that one day, bro, like everybody was like, I gotta find this. I gotta have interaction somewhere, anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, we are addicted to this social media shit, dog.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Fuck, dude.
And like, we're all addicted to different
Vices.
different flavors
Right.
of social media.
Right.
But they don't give a fuck what your flavor is, as long as you come in. As long as you come into the dope man for that schmack. You know what I mean?
Well, they
don't
try their
care.
best to give you what they think you want.
Yeah. They try to curate
Yeah.
what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
right.
what you're allowed to see and shit, you know?
Algorithms.
No.
Dude, ain't that some shit though? Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, but
It's
you know
like-
what's weird though? You know what's wild? Like, it's such an interesting time to be alive, right? Because we're in such a digital age where everything is online. Economies live and die from online activity, right?
Right.
Simultaneously, there's like this small little revolution of farmers in the mainland. You know what I mean? And I feel like a little bit of that would go a long way in Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like the way that the farmers are like, dude, like, yo, why is the federal government paying farmers not to grow food
or destroy shit.
or to destroy shit? Like, why are you guys paying these people money to not use their resource?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you guys can get on TV and talk to us about a fucking
Shortage.
a shortage.
Drought, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, and you know, like the crop diversity. So they will sell 500 acres to do pineapple
Yeah.
or sugar cane. Like there's so much diversity that you could plant during that could still deliver the same cash
Yeah.
flow.
I'm
for-
sure we've all flown over the middle of the United States and seen how
Yeah.
many farms there are down
Yeah.
there. Like, what the fuck?
Just
how much
carved into the
acres,
earth, dog.
yeah.
Just fucking
Rectangle
all
after
kind of ways, man.
rectangle
They got
after fucking
they got circles and squares. You know what I mean?
polygons.
Like all kind of shit,
all
dog. You know?
fucking- and like a lot of it's corn. You know? It's
Yeah.
like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
No.
to go
dude?
feed cows and shit.
No.
Right. And that's another thing is like factory farming.
No.
Now, if there's more land available,
That's some shady shit too, dog. Like factory farming, like the laws they got to
allow it.
not
Can't
just
talk
to
about
not,
it.
yeah, you can't videotape what
Nope.
happens
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like
Gag laws and shit.
gag laws on that shit,
Fuck
dude. Like
that.
In the land of the free.
yeah, but like in a country where we like to pride ourselves on our right to informed consent.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Our
Like
freedom of
like a lot of
speech.
people like to talk about this vaccine, like, oh, this is a violation of informed consent. Like, it ain't the first one, bro.
Right.
Like, this shit has been happening to farmers for fucking decades, bro. Like, you can't just videotape where your fucking beef patty's coming from.
Yo.
If it's coming from one of these fucking Tyson Farms or your chicken and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you can't just fucking. There is no PR team from those companies that says, "Oh, come on in, we'll show you around." Don't got that, bro.
Dude, I get the fuck
Like,
outta
yeah,
here.
you stay the fuck over there,
Yeah.
or we're gonna call the Jake on you, and the police is gonna come and escort you away from our business. We're
Right.
doing business here. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
like that to me is one of the bigger violations of informed consent. If people are asking questions about how you're treating your animals, what type of hormones growth hormones you're putting into your animals, like, yo, look, I feel like as a company, you're obligated to share that information because we're allowing you to do business in our country. You making money off of us.
And the fact that they employ psychopaths who like to abuse the animals just for no
Bro.
fucking reason.
Bro, I saw a post on
Jesus
on
Christ.
Instagram where it's like they show how they do the calves. Like, I'm not even like an animal rights activist or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, why you have to kick the little baby cow, man? Like, you know what I mean?
He's already
Like,
gonna die.
you ain't have to
Fucking-
do him like that, dog. You know,
Yeah,
like
those are
they
sick
just
fucking people.
picking them up, body slamming them for no reason.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
They call it tenderizing.
that's shit.
Fucking guy.
Yeah. I
Holy
mean,
shit.
but
Yeah,
shout out to
I
the
don't-
farmers in Hawaii for sure.
Hell
The
yeah.
growers in Hawaii, farmers across the country, man.
Interesting though, all that meat, all that you can't come behind fucking our factory, our factory
No.
farm, but cannabis has one of the most in fact,
Yeah.
cannabis's fucking test results are one of the most scrutinous
Yeah,
ever. Like our produce is allotted more PGR than the
Yeah.
cannabis.
But you know who would advocate for all of that type of regulation, right? The largest cannabis companies. They want more regulate. They're the ones who are pushing the bills for more
Yeah.
regulation because
Until they're fucking up and running and they're like, oh, what regulation?
Well, but
Well, they
then
got
it's
the
like
money to pay
the
for
barrier of entry just becomes so much further for the average person that
Right.
that regulation is going to cut down dramatically on their competition.
Right.
As long as they got that head start and they can
Can't catch
sustain
'em.
that lead,
Yeah.
as long as they can work out a business plan where that lead is sustained, they'll advocate for every fucking regulation that anybody wants to
Yeah.
bring to the table.
Yeah.
That's going to make it harder for the smaller person to
Yep.
catch up. Like,
They're-
I'll tell you this, Amazon, I don't know who the fuck gonna catch Amazon, bro.
Nobody.
Amazon is gone. son.
Gone.
You know
I think
what mean?
Wish.com.
They're going to Mars, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, Amazon's going to Mars, bro. You know?
No, they're running on a clear path, and as they run, they're flipping up hurdles
Legit,
for the people
bro.
behind them.
Legit.
as they
Slowing
go.
them down.
Whoop. Yep, just one
Knocking
after
over,
another.
knocking over trash cans on
Yeah.
the way, you know what I mean? Like, closing gates behind them, you know?
Fuck, dude.
Unreal.
No. Anyway, gentlemen,
Just
I
fine.
hate to be the one to cut it short, but it's
No,
getting a little
you're
bit
fine.
late.
Nah, fuck, man.
You're
The
fine.
old
All
lady,
good.
the old lady already hit me up. Damn, I missed 3 messages.
We got work. We all got to be responsible.
Yeah.
Responsible adults and feed into the man and do our things.
For
and
sure.
That's just fucking around.
But we do it for the babies, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah, man. Sure had a lot to say. That was great, though. Good job.
Yeah, no doubt. I spoke enough for the both of us.
Fucking killed it.
The silent partner
Damn.
over there.
Silent. I'm normally the silent partner. He's normally the.
Hey,
Fuck
hey,
factory
I
farms,
appreciate
eat
this
meat
shit.
lux. Bang.
Ah, there you go.
So on Instagram, Pakamai Society.
Indeed.
Fucking straight up.
I mean,
man.
mostly that's Wayne on there. Wayne be on there a lot.
look for
Unless
the
you see smirk.
look for the smirk.
Yeah, but if you see the smirk, it's your boy. It's your boy.
And Kalei, do the honors for Oahu Grow
Garden Supply,
Garden. Yeah.
94150 Leleo Street, Waipahu, Hawaii, 96797.
Yeah. And follow me on Instagram, Voices from the Planet. Shoots.
All right,
Righteous
guys.
gentlemen.
Thank you
All right.
guys.
Thanks
Thank
guys
you.
for coming on.